It's the Martin and Dean Chronicles. Ready for laughs and cheers? One's a geezer, one's a queer. Find out who on the Martin and Dean Chronicles. Tune in, don't delay. Martin and Dean will make your day. Part 3. Changes. Chapter 13, Chaos and an Unforgettable Loss.
What happened?
Dean spitting out mud.
Oh, fucking hell, Martin. Feels like we got hit by a train in the time stream. What the fuck was that?
Martin pushes himself up, blinking through dirt and sweat.
Where the fuck are we?
Dean wipes his face and looks around. The sound of gunfire, screams and artillery explosions rattle the air.
Well, Marty, I hate to break it to you, but I think we've landed in the middle of World War *1.
Dean pulls out the time displacement device, staring at it with wide eyes as it flickers and sparks. Dean nervously chuckles.
Now, Martin, don't panic, but this thing's glitching like absolute dog shit right now.
Martin snatches it from Dean, shaking it like a remote control with dead batteries.
This can't be fucking happening!
Dean, ever the optimist, slaps Martin on the back.
Look, Martin, we're gonna have to make the most of this shithole till it sorts itself out. I mean, how bad can it be?
A soldier screams as he's bayoneted right in front of them. Blood splatters.
All right, yeah, that's pretty fucking bad.
More gunfire. Explosions. Screaming happens around them. It feels as if hell has welcomed them in. Martin and Dean ran for their fucking lives. Dean spotted a fallen rifle, an M1 Garand. Grabbed it, checked the ammo, 8 rounds. Dean grinned, holding up the rifle.
M1 Garand, oh, you beauty.
Martin blinked.
How do you know what that is?
Dean smirked.
Mate, I watched a lot of war films.
Martin sighed.
Brilliant. We're in World War I and you're quoting Legends of the Fall.
Dean cocked the rifle.
Let's kill some bastards.
Martin gawked.
What?
Before he could argue, a German soldier appeared. Rifle raised, aimed at Dean.
Stirb, du verdammter Bastard.
Martin, not thinking, grabs a pistol off a corpse and fires. The German soldier drops like a sack of potatoes. Dean turned, grinning.
You absolute mad bastard. That was brilliant.
Martin shook violently.
I think I'm going to be sick.
Don't be fucking weak, Martin. You're a war hero. I'm so proud.
Dean notices the dead soldier has a whiskey flask. He grabs it, unscrews the cap, and takes a swig.
Ah, now that's the good stuff. You should drink some. You'll feel much better.
Then a rat appeared. Beady-eyed, hairy little fuck, quick as fuck. Before Dean could react. Snatch! The rat grabbed his whiskey flask in its little claws and bolted. Dean screamed.
You fucking little bastard.
Martin doubled over, laughing.
Well, at least there is something funny about this hell on earth.
Come back with my whiskey, you hairy cunt.
The rat zipped into a tunnel. Dean stared. His hands clenched into fists. He looked up at the sky, covered in smoke, bullets flying, and muttered,
I fucking hate this place, all right?
Somewhere along the line, Dean became a menace to society. Not that he ever wasn't, but World War I just gave him a new playground of absolute carnage. And as always, poor Martin got dragged along for the ride. Inside a war-torn trench, soldiers exhausted, the smell of death thick in the air. Martin and Dean huddle in a dugout. Dean is chewing something. Martin watches in disgust. Martin grimacing at Dean.
What are you eating?
Dean chewing away, his face contorted in pain.
Bread.
That looks like it came from a Roman ruin.
Tastes like it too, like shit, like an old boot filled with misery.
He spits a chunk of stale bread onto the mud.
Right, this is unacceptable. We might be stuck in the middle of a war, but I refuse to eat this shite. I need proper bread.
We're in 1916, Dean. What do you think you can get? It's this or nothing.
No, I want tiger bread.
Tiger bread hasn't been invented yet.
Dean stands up, hands on his hips, face full of purpose.
Well, we're gonna invent the fucker then.
Oh, Christ.
Through means unknown, Dean has acquired a direct line to Prime Minister David Lloyd George. He sits in a makeshift command tent, holding a dusty old phone. Martin sits next to him, head in hands.
Listen, Davy boy, you want to win this war? Who the devil is this? Doesn't matter. What matters is you're sending me flour, yeast, sugar, oil, everything I need to make tiger bread. I don't understand. You want your boys in the trenches fighting like tigers, don't you? Well, give them bread that turns them into fucking beasts.
That sounds plausible. This country's doomed.
A few days later. Against all odds, sacks of ingredients arrive. Dean stands triumphantly over them, arms crossed like he's won a battle himself.
Right, let's bake.
Dean covered in flour, the tent full of smoke, dough stuck to the ceiling. The bread is a charred, mutated abomination. It looks less like food and more like a weapon.
What the hell have you done?
Dean looking at the burnt lump.
Well, I can't fucking bake, can I?
No, you can't, my love.
Dean throws the failed loaf outside. It lands near some German soldiers in no man's land. They gather around it, prod it, then slowly back away, fearing it might explode. Inside the trench, shortly after Dean's catastrophic baking attempt, Martin is sitting on an ammo crate, head in hands. Dean, unfazed, is already onto his next bout of chaos.
I can't do this anymore. I can't be responsible for this man.
Right, I need to let off some steam.
A random soldier walks past, barely glancing at Martin. Dean, for absolutely no logical reason, narrows his eyes.
Oi, you looking at him funny?
The soldier, looking confused.
What? No, I was just...
Bang! Dean shoots him in the foot. The soldier screaming out in pain.
What the fuck?
Martin shouting out, horrified.
What the fuck?
Dean shrugs, holstering the gun.
He had a dodgy look. Could have been a spy.
He's British, you absolute fucking maniac.
Well, now he's British and sitting down.
The shot soldier groans, holding his foot, regretting every life decision that led to this moment. Later that day, Dean, still not satisfied, gets into an argument with a corporal over whiskey rations. It ends with Dean punching the guy in the face. "You can't just punch me, I'm an officer." Dean shaking his fist.
And I'm a legend. We all have our struggles.
Dean, for the love of God, stop making enemies in a literal war zone!
Despite all logic, Dean finds the officer's horse. It's a beautiful stallion, clearly belonging to someone important. That does not stop him. Martin watches in horror.
No, Dean, no.
Dean climbs onto the horse.
Dean, yes, you mean.
Before anyone can stop him, Dean kicks the horse into action and charges directly toward no man's land, screaming at the top of his lungs.
I'm fucking invincible!
The horse, entirely unbothered by bullets whizzing past, gallops full speed into the chaos. Martin watches in stunned disbelief as German soldiers pause their fighting, staring at the absolute lunatic thundering toward them. Some just drop their weapons and run. Others, in sheer confusion, hold their fire, because surely this must be some kind of trick.
He's gonna die.
Against all odds, Dean does not die. The horse, however, finally decides it has had enough of his shit and swerves hard, sending Dean flying straight into a trench.
That could have gone better.
You think?
He horse trots off, free of its lunatic rider. Dean hauls himself out of the trench, covered in mud but grinning like he just won the war single-handedly. Suddenly Martin starts having an existential crisis.
I'm supposed to be back home sorting out our life now, not killing people.
Dean smirked.
Martin, you're thriving. Just embrace it.
A mortar exploded nearby, showering them in dirt and bits of some poor bastard's shoe. Martin let out a high-pitched noise.
Oh!
Dean barely flinched.
Look at you, Martin, natural-born soldier. Next, I'll get you a cigar and a 1,000-yard stare.
Dean, this is hell!
Nah, hell's got less mud.
Then another explosion. A soldier screamed in the distance. Somewhere, someone was singing "It's a Long Way to Tipperary," wildly out of tune. Then a massive trench rat appeared. It stopped and stared at Dean, like it was looking into Dean's soul, trying to mock him. Dean tensed and let out a loud shout.
You!
Martin just sighed.
Oh God, not this again.
The rat charged. Dean screamed at it. Gunfire, chaos, rat parts everywhere. Dean stood, panting. Martin looked at the mess.
That was unnecessary.
Dean wiped blood off his face.
You don't understand, Martin. That was personal.
Martin put his head in his hands, yet it was not for long. The war never stopped for no one. All-out chaos happens within a blink of an eye. Martin and Dean ran through the trenches, ducking past soldiers, bullets whizzing past their heads. Dean clutched the M1 Garand.
All right. Where the fuck do we...
Martin, breathing heavily, squints into the distance. His eyes lock onto something, a glint of light reflecting off a rifle scope perched on a dusty ridge. He spins, lunges at Dean and shoves him just as a crack echoes through the air. The sniper's bullet slams into Martin's chest, sending him staggering back.
Fucking snipers.
Dean catches him, eyes wide with panic.
You daft bastard, why'd you do that?
Then Dean's eyes snapped to Martin's chest. A dark red stain.
Wait, what? Oh no!
Martin let out a shaky breath.
Didn't see who shot, just saw it coming.
Blood everywhere, a proper fucking mess.
No, Martin, you fucking idiot!
Dean shook Martin, but Martin winced, blood trickling from his lips. Martin then coughed and wheezed.
Oh, I feel terrible.
Dean laughed hysterically.
Yeah, well, no fucking shit, Martin. You just took a bullet for me.
Martin winced.
Didn't even get a medal for it. That's a rip-off.
Dean pressed his hands to the wound.
Stop fucking talking. We can fix this. You're not dying in some shitty trench, mate.
Martin raised an eyebrow.
Oh, you've got a cure for bullet wounds, do you?
Dean scowled.
I've seen films, all right? You just need whiskey and a bit of luck.
Martin groaned.
Oh, well, in that case, I'm completely fucked.
Then a humming sound. Dean's head snapped up. The time displacement device. It glowed. Dean grabbed it, shaking Martin.
Martin, it's working. We can go home.
Martin blinked, smiled weakly. He sighed.
Would have been useful 5 minutes ago.
Dean gritted his teeth.
Don't start with your sarcastic bollocks. Just hold on, yeah?
Dean grabs the device, hands shaking. He's about to press the button, but then a roar sounds behind him. A bloodied soldier bursts from the trench, bayonet aimed straight for his chest.
You picked the wrong fucking day, prick.
He dodges, grabs the soldier by the collar, and headbutts him so hard the poor bastard collapses like a sack of bricks. Without missing a beat, Dean kicks him in the ribs for good measure.
Dean, just go.
Dean's chest tightened.
No, don't do that. Don't give me your tragic last word shit. We're going home, and then you're going to make me a fucking sandwich.
Martin chuckled.
I think we are out of tiger bread.
Dean laughed sharply.
Oh, you're going to be out of fucking everything in a second, Martin.
An explosion hits nearby, sending Dean down into a pit he can't climb out of. Martin sees someone coming towards him.
Go, Dean, my love.
Dean froze.
No, I'm not leaving you, poof.
It's too late for me. Someone is coming. Save yourself. Oh, I love you, Dean.
Dean sighed, looked at the time displacement device. One last trip, Dean thought. This could be my only way home. He swallowed hard. The sound of footsteps started coming closer.
Martin, farewell.
Dean hit the button before it was too late and disappeared. Dean crashed onto the floor of their flat. His body ached. His soul ached. It was quiet. Yet the time displacement device sparked wildly. Dean threw it across the room. It hit the wall with a pathetic clatter, sparks fizzling out like a dying firework. Then Dean smelt it.
The fuck is that?
Black smoke. His eyes widened.
Oh, shit.
He scrambled up, raced to the cooker. There it was. A pan, burnt to absolute fucking death. Something inside it had turned solid black, fossilized. A war crime. Martin had been cooking. Before everything. Dean stared. Then, for no reason at all, laughed. Hysterical. Shaky. He wiped his eyes.
I'm going to miss you, you little poof.
He shut the stove off and went to find whiskey. But the answering machine beeped. Dean froze. Slowly he pressed play.
You have 3 new messages.
Beep.
Message 1.
Martin's mother. Her voice crackled through the speaker, filled with whinging fury.
Martin, you never call me, never visit. What kind of son ignores his mother? This is a disgrace. You think I'll live forever. You should be ashamed.
She didn't stop.
And that useless husband of yours? What's he doing, eh? That Dean? He doesn't make you call your mother? What kind of man is that? Useless, lazy. You both. No good at all.
Dean's stomach turned. A memory hit him like a brick. He'd shagged Barbara when she was young, and now she was an old cunt. He gagged.
Oh, that's fucking vile.
Beep.
Next message. Message 2.
Martin's boss at that miserable little shop. A deep sigh. Then,
Martin, you didn't show up for your shift again. That's 3 times this month. I had to do a 16-hour shift to cover for you. Tut, Martin. Not good enough.
a pause. Then Mark groaned.
And you know what? I bet you're just lying around at home watching telly, not even giving a toss. Well, guess what? You're fired. Fired, you hear me?
Another frustrated sigh.
And you left me to unload all those bloody cages by myself. You know how many there were? Fucking loads, that's how many. My back's ruined now, thanks a lot.
Yet Mark didn't stop there.
All these hours I'm working, my wife will divorce me.
Dean exhaled sharply through his nose.
Yeah, well, he's got a good excuse for not being there. Now you cunt.
Beep.
Final message. Message 3.
Oi, Dean, you're a fucking faggot.
A long pause then. Then Baz burst out laughing.
Ha ha ha.
And just before the voicemail cut off, another voice chimed in. Pinson, pissed out of his mind. Tell him he's a proper knobhead, Baz wheezed.
Yeah, Pinson says you're a proper knobhead. Anyway, lockdown's over and it's your birthday soon, so drinks out Friday, yeah? Don't be a twat, show up.
End of messages.
Dean stared. Then finally,
Yeah, fair.
he grabbed the whiskey, took a long drink, and for the first time in a long time, sat down and just breathed. Then he drank more, and more, until the bottle was empty. Then he found another. The flat turned into a graveyard of whiskey bottles, rolling around the floor like empty bullet casings. He laughed, sobbed, punched the wall, swore at nothing.
Fucking pricks.
Somewhere between the 8th and 9th bottle, he tried to stand and immediately face-planted onto the rug. Didn't even try to get up. Instead, he lay there. The room spun. His brain was a haze of ghosts and gunfire. Chapter 14. Tripping, tripping fucking hard. Ah yes, our tale continues in the aftermath of tragedy where our hero...
Fuck me sideways with a chimney brush? Did you just say hero? Mate, I think you've got the wrong fucking story. The only thing I've heroically done is wake up in a fucking skip and somehow still alive, barely...
Wait a minute. Dean, you can hear me?
Yeah, mate, like all the fucking time, kinda gets a bit crazy.
Oh right, well that's a whole different can of worms. I'm not going to get into right now. Anyway, can I carry on with the story?
Oh, please go ahead, Shakespeare. I wouldn't dare interrupt your grand introduction.
Fucking prick. Our story carries on from Dean waking up in a Wait. Dean? What are you doing there? That's a skip. That's a used skip. Is that sick? And... Oh God, is that semen?
Could be glue. Could be the ghost of last Tuesday. I don't know, do I?
Dean, it's a fucking Wednesday. Would you like to tell us the story, Dean?
Absolutely.
Fine! Fuck this, I'm out. Tell the fucking story yourself, you selfish prick.
The sound of a chair creaking, a lighter flicking, and someone aggressively pouring a drink. And just like that, I was in control. And let me tell you, these last 24 hours were fucking mental. Roll the theme tune.
It's Dean Chronicles. Ready for laughs and cheers? Oh, wait, he is alone now. Dean's a geezer, that's all. Find out more on the Dean Chronicles. Tune in, don't delay. Dean will try and make your day. Oh, poor Dean. R.I.P. Martin.
So, how'd I end up in a skip, stinking of stale kebab and a moral collapse? Looking like I went 10 rounds with a bin lorry and lost. It all kicked off when I got back to the flat, after, well, everything. After Nazis, after Chernobyl, after getting waterboarded in a black site for being suspiciously cocky. And after Martin. He didn't make it. 1 minute we're legging it through a war zone, next he's on the ground coughing up red and talking in riddles. It's too late. Go, Dean, my love. Bollocks. Didn't even get a proper goodbye. Just a dramatic death line and a bunch of blood in my lap, like a shit Shakespeare play. And the time displacement device fizzled out like an Aldi firework in a puddle. No more time jumps, no more escape routes, no way to fix any of it. So what did I do? I drank. And I mean properly. This weren't your basic sad lad glass of wine and cry to Coldplay shit. This was a full body, piss yourself, don't remember your own name kind of bender. Whiskey bottle after whiskey bottle. Woke up face down in the kitchen, don't even remember how I got there. Half naked, smelling like regret and sambuca. Why sambuca? I don't know. I was on the whiskey, I think. The floor was damp. Don't ask why. There was a shoe in the fridge, a used condom in the kettle, and I swear I saw a snail watching Murder, she wrote on the telly. Bastard plotting how to kill me, fucking wanker snails. Bathroom looked like a Jackson Pollock painting done by someone with food poisoning. Dragged myself to the mirror and nearly punched my own reflection. Hair like I got electrocuted in a wind tunnel. Face like I'd been mugged by sadness. And something on my shirt that might have once been lasagna. And it just hit me again. Martin's dead, device is fucked, nothing left. No one to tell me to calm down when I square up to a seagull. No one to give me that look when I threaten to slap a stranger for standing weird. Just silence. And flat lager. So I bailed, out the door, wearing a t-shirt that said keep it real on the front and smelled like burnt pub carpet. I wandered through town looking like a haunted scarecrow. Got barked at by a poodle. Told a postbox to fuck off. Swear I saw my Mrs. Clawfang in a Greg's window throwing cats at the staff. Ended up at the Bystander. Pub I go to when I need either alcohol or a fight. Happy hour, thank Christ. John the barman didn't say a word. Just gave me a nod and poured 3 whiskeys and something green that fizzed.
Bad day I see on the house.
Yeah, future's gone, mate. Past's a bastard. Present smells like piss.
You called me mate?
I remembered it was John. Oh, sorry. Shut up, you prick. So I drank and drank. Then guess who shows up? Bloody Nathan, stupid little shit. Looks like he bathes in monster energy and disappointment. He sees me and comes skipping up, the little twat.
Dean, I need weed money.
Normally I'd tell that junky ferret-looking bastard to fuck off, but not today. I need it out of my head. So I said, sure, but you better get me something mental. I want to see God riding a skateboard. Nathan blinked, then he ran. 5 minutes later, he's back with this evil-looking green nugget, he said.
It's called Head Crush.
The label had a cartoon of a brain exploding into bees. Took 2 puffs, just 2, and then bang. I don't know what that little rat got me, but after 1 hit, I was gone. Not just high. I mean gone. Reality didn't just melt, it packed its bags, kissed me on the forehead, and fucked off to another dimension. Colors had flavors, the air smelled like jazz music. I could hear my own heartbeat narrating my life in the voice of Nathan. Why that prick's voice came into my head, I'll never know.
And so Dean took a deep breath, unaware that in precisely 3 seconds, his mind would take the scenic route through insanity.
And then suddenly, I was riding a giant pink lion in a tuxedo across a sea of floating clocks. The sky was made of VHS static. The sun blinked at me, and I swear I heard it whisper, "You absolute twat." The lion turned to me, swirling a martini in his paw, and said in the poshest Australian accent ever,
Dean, you utter disgrace.
I blinked. Excuse me?
You ruined everything, he sighed. World War II? Fucked it. Chernobyl? You literally blew it up. Time travel? You treated it like a binge-drinking holiday.
I blinked. Yeah, that all sounds about right. The lion exhaled dramatically and took a slow sip of his martini.
You see, Dean, history is a fragile tapestry, woven with care, precision, and an absolute lack of your involvement. And yet here you are, a walking, talking bottle of regret, spilling whiskey all over the fabric of time.
I scratched my head. Bit harsh, mate.
Harsh? Harsh was Stalin. Harsh is being tied to a cannon and fired into a wall for stealing the king's crumpets. You, my dear boy, are simply embarrassing.
He swirled his drink again.
If the universe had a return to sender label, you'd already be in the post.
I don't need this kind of judgment from a pink lion.
Oh, but you do, Dean. You do. Because if I don't say it, who will? Certainly not Martin. Poor bastard still thinks you're redeemable.
Oi, listen here. You oversized marshmallow in a tuxedo. The lion raised a paw.
Shush, Dean. Just shush. Do you know how exhausting it is to be your spirit guide? I'm not even supposed to be here. I was meant to be mentoring some philosopher in the 1800s, but no. I got reassigned because apparently you need extra guidance. I'd rather shepherd a drunk octopus through an obstacle course.
I opened my mouth, but the lion continued, rolling his eyes.
You bumble through time, breaking history like it's a cheap toy, and somehow, you always land on your feet. It's infuriating. You, sir, are a cosmic cockroach.
I cackled. Now that's just rude. The lion sighed again and threw back the rest of his martini.
Dean, my dear Catastrophe, do you even remember how many people want you dead across the space-time continuum? You've pissed off emperors, warlords, scientists, time travelers.
To be fair, Einstein had it coming.
Einstein fixed the bloody device, Dean. You could have gone home. You could have been done. But no, because you're a twitchy little gremlin with the patience of a sugared-up toddler, you just had to hit the button and cause absolute chaos.
I hesitated. All right, yeah, that sounds like me.
It is you, Dean. It's always you. If there's a wrong button, you push it. If there's a disaster waiting to happen, you RSVP. And if there's a sandwich unattended, you bloody well eat it.
In my defense, Einstein's sandwich was top tier. The lion face-pawed.
This is why I drink.
And with that, he snapped his fingers, and instantly I was yanked through a vortex of nonsense. I was suddenly a cowboy in a spaghetti western, standing in a saloon where everyone had my face, and they were all staring at me like I owed them money. Then swoosh! I was a fish in a tiny bowl, staring at an identical fish bowl, where another version of me was flipping me off. Then bam! I was strapped to a rocket, soaring through space with Martin's disapproving face projected on the moon. Of course you'd end up here, Moon Martin sighed.
Why did you let me die, Dean?
Fuck if I know, Martin. And then, boom, blackout. I woke up again, and this time I was somewhere new. A studio. Proper microphones, cameras, a big table. And sitting across from me, looking mildly concerned, was a bald man. I blinked at him. He blinked back.
Who the fuck are you?
I squinted. Who the fuck are you?
I like this guy already. I'm Joe Rogan. This is my podcast.
Oh, I muttered. You're the bald prick. Joe smirked.
My guest bailed. You want to do the show?
Now, any sensible person would have asked questions. Like, how did I get here? But me? I sat up, cracked my neck, and grinned. Get the whiskey and cigars, cue ball. I got a fucking story for you. Joe signals his producer. A bottle of whiskey and 2 cigars are brought out. Dean lights up, takes a deep drag, then downs a gulp of whiskey like it's water.
All right, Dean, what's your story?
I leaned forward him, eyes gleaming. You wouldn't believe me if I told you, but fuck it, let's go. Me and Martin, time travelers. First stop, 1939, we end up going to Nazi Germany. Joe blinks, leans back.
Okay, that's not where I thought this was going.
Yeah, tell me about it. I'm having a drink, chatting up some fella in a bar. Turns out it's Hitler. Joe's jaw drops, he laughed.
No fucking way.
I grinned, took a swigs of whiskey. Yeah, and I, accidentally convinced him to start the war. Joe choked on his drink.
Dude!
I know, right? So now I'm thinking, shit, I need to fix this. Only way out? Get Hitler and his goose-stepping mate so fucking hammered, they start singing show tunes. Worked like a charm. Joe started cackling.
So you outdrank Hitler?
Mate, I outdrank the entire fucking Third Reich. Next thing I know, I'm a German general.
You became a Nazi general? What the actual fuck?
I puff on cigar and exhales. Yeah, but only for a day, just long enough to nick a plane to America. But soon as I land, bam, Yank bastards arrest me, throw me in some black site.
Of course they did. Dude, if you weren't white, you'd still be in there.
Tell me about it. So I gotta fight my way out, knock a few blokes out, classic action movie shit. Now I'm thinking, who can fix this? Answer, Einstein. Joe's wide-eyed. He was totally loving this.
So let me get this straight. You escape a black site, and your first idea is Einstein?
Yeah, 'cause he's a genius, right? But turns out he's fucking useless. Instead of fixing time, we get flung into the Wild West.
I can't tell if you're making this up, or if I've just been smoking way too much DMT.
Little bit of both, mate. Anyway, we're in the Wild West now, and I'm playing poker against a bunch of gun-toting cowboys. Had to cheat to win back our time machine.
Dude, you've been a Nazi general, a POW, and now a poker cheat. You're like Forrest Gump if he was a fucking menace to society.
Oh, it gets worse. Next stop, Chernobyl. You know, the place that went kaboom? Yeah, that was me.
Wait, you blew up Chernobyl?
I gritted my teeth, took another swig. Technically, it was a snail. Joe just bursts out laughing, slaps table.
What?
Saw the little bastard near the controls, panicked, ran the fuck away. Boom, whole thing went tits up. Joe wiped away tears from laughing. Dude, you are chaos in human form. I nodded. That's what my ex said. Anyway, we barely escape, and then bam, Hitler's bunker again.
How do you keep running into Hitler?
Fuck knows, mate. At this point, Martin's had enough. Walks up, no hesitation, and just fucking shoots Hitler's bollocks clean off. Joe losing it, gasping for breath.
Bro, you shot Hitler in the balls?
Not me, Martin. He was fucking furious, but we still didn't get home. We ended up in 1967, and, well, I shagged this hot bird.
Nice.
Yeah, turns out she was Martin's mom. Joe stares, mouth open, then explodes with laughter.
Dude, what the fuck?
I started rubbing temples, muttering, yeah, she's a right cunt now, and worst part, am I Martin's dad? Who fuck?
Bro, I swear to God, this is the greatest story I've ever heard.
Yeah, well, things took a turn. We ended up in World War I, and Martin, he died saving me. I pause, is actually looking emotional for the first time. The whiskey hits. I exhales, about to say something deep, when suddenly, Joe then cheerfully cuts in.
And now, a word from our sponsor.
I just snapped, eyes burning with rage. Are you taking the fucking piss? Without thinking, I headbutts Joe Rogan. A scuffle breaks out. Joe tries to wrestle, but I was throwing wild, drunken punches. Joe gets a couple hits in, but I was fueled by whiskey and pure chaos, knees him in the ribs and flips the podcast table. I started panting. I pointed at Joe on the floor. You ain't no real fighter, not compared to a top geezer like me. I grabbed the rest of the whiskey bottle, downed it, and hurls it at Joe, shattering it on the wall. I stumbles toward the door, shouting back, I'm out, you bald wanker! I slammed the door. Silence. Joe, groaning, sits up and rubs his head. Joe looked towards his producer, still dazed, grinning.
Best fucking episode yet.
Soon as I got out of that studio, I had one thing on my mind, the co-op. Why? Because that's where it hit me. Harry, that mumbly, twitchy little bastard, the human glitch. The same prick who gave Martin the time displacement device. I needed answers, I needed blood, I needed a fucking meal deal. But before I could do any of that...
There was Joe.
She was outside the shop, sleeves rolled up, dragging the bins out like a proper trooper. Only problem, some little knobhead had dropped a yogurt or an oil spill or the essence of Satan on the ground. Joe slips, legs up, wham, straight into the bin, arse up, wedged in, arms flailing like a penguin on cocaine.
Help, help, I'm stuck, my fanny's cold.
And I just stood there, staring, processing, calculating. Stuck? Stuck, she says. Then I thought Martin would have wanted this. So I stepped forward. I grabbed her hips, and I pulled her panties down and shagged her in the bin, right there, beside the co-op, midday. Customers walking in and out like it was just another Tuesday. It wasn't romantic, it wasn't classy, it was primal, loud, sweaty, like two raccoons fighting over a cornetto in a wheelie bin. She was screaming. I was grunting like a warthog giving birth. Someone dropped their orange juice watching us. Some old woman with a tartan trolley called out.
Feral foxes in heat.
I splooged like I was trying to cast a demonic sex spell. Felt like my soul left my body and went in her gash. Then I saw him, Harry, standing across the road, watching, that same dead-eyed goblin stare twitching like a meth-fueled raccoon in a microwave. Oi, prick, got a word for you. Harry muttered something like,
Glorp, blabble, warp, warp.
And scuttled behind the co-op, beckoning me with his little bone-thin fingers. I followed, fists clenched. And that's when it happened. Whack! A crowbar, straight to the dome. Everything went dark, felt like getting brain-kissed by a thunder god with abandonment issues. I wake up, in a car boot. Duct-taped, blindfolded, smelling like WD-40 and fear. The engine's humming, ska music playing again. The specials this time, of course it is. Eventually the car stops. Boot opens. I'm dragged out like a drunk Christmas tree, kicked into a garage, cold concrete floor. The walls are covered in newspaper clippings, butcher diagrams, and photos of blokes with red X's drawn over their faces. I'm tied to a chair, and there he is, Harry. No longer twitchy, no longer mumbling, just calm, focused, wearing a blood-stained apron with "Kiss the Cook" on it, holding a carving knife the size of a toddler.
You're a bad man, Dean. Loud, rude, unkind.
Cheers, you creepy little bollock. He raises the knife. Scar blasts from a Bluetooth speaker in the corner. He starts sharpening the blade like he's about to carve Sunday roast.
I'm the slice of ham killer.
If I'm gonna die, just answer me one thing. He pauses, tilts his head like a cat watching someone drop a sandwich. That device, the one you gave Martin, the watch thing, what was it?
Some old shite. Found it in a charity shop years ago. Thought it looked cool.
You don't know what it was?
Not really. Might have been a pedometer or a pocket vibrator. Dunno.
It sent us through time, you absolute lunatic. Martin's dead because of it. That stopped him. For a second, his eyes went glassy.
I liked Martin.
He sits down on an upside-down bucket, still holding the knife, but looser now.
He was kind. Said good morning. Helped me with my puzzle box once. A piece was missing. He helped me look. Didn't judge me.
Yeah, that sounds like him.
Didn't want to hurt him. Didn't mean to.
Well, you didn't. Time did. But you still kidnapped me, you knob. He gets up, leans in, knife grazing my cheek now.
You're mean. Nasty. Got poison in your voice. People like you should go first.
Mate, I've had venereal diseases scarier than you. You ain't the worst I've woken up to. Hell, I once pulled a girl who had a cock bigger than mine. Suddenly he smiles, like a proud dad watching his kid fart the alphabet.
You're funny.
Thanks. Can you let me go now?
No, but I'll make it quick.
Then the knife swings, and I scream. Oh, fuck.
Wake up, you prick!
I gasped like a man yanked out of hell by the bollocks. Sat up fast. Smacked my head on the edge of a rusted co-op trolley. Let out a scream so pathetic I think a nearby fox laughed. Fuck me. What the hell? I looked around. I was in a skip. A proper skip, not metaphorical. Real metal, real trash, real regrets. And worst of all, real people. Standing above me, looming like a scarecrow made of dog ends and disappointment, was Graham, cradling a filthy plastic bottle with a label that just said, "Skip Wine," in marker pen. Where the fuck am I?
Morning, sunshine. You're in the skip behind Co-op. Lovely spot. 5-star reviews on Bin Advisor.
Why the fuck am I here? I was just in a bloody caravan dungeon with Slice of Ham Killer.
Yeah, you were screaming loads. Thought it was night terrors, or you shat yourself again.
I sat up fully groaning, felt like my head had been deep-fried, my legs were dead, my throat was dry, and the smell, oh, the smell. A mix of expired coleslaw, despair, and Graham's asshole. Then I saw him, Nathan, slumped in the corner like a broken action figure. Eyes half open, mouth agape, covered from hair to socks in some kind of viscous goo. What the fuck happened to him?
Ah, yeah, that.
He scratched his neck, smirked, looked far too pleased with himself.
So I was edging.
Edging what, your bets, your lawn?
Nah, my cock, mate. Been holding it in all day. Pressure building like a water balloon in a microwave. Thought I'd just sneak a little release while you were passed out. You know, private moment.
Private? You're in a skip with 2 blokes.
Didn't think Nathan would roll into it, did I?
So you...
Full burst, explosion, like pulling the plug on a warm rice pudding.
Jesus Christ, Graham. I stared at poor Nathan. He looked like he'd been dipped in jelly and left to set. He's fucking slimed. This is like Ghostbusters meets a sex crime.
Me eyes are glued shut.
Strong swimmers, mate.
You absolute swamp dick pervert, I can smell it from here.
I'll be honest, I feel 10 years younger. Bit dizzy, though. Nearly blacked out after...
Of all the people to get rescued by, it had to be Wankzilla and the human cum blanket.
Huh. You should have seen your face. Looked like you'd fought Satan and lost. You guys were on something.
I did. His name's Harry and he wears an apron covered in fucking teeth, It's called Head Crush.
I think I'm pregnant.
Shut up, you little twat. This is the worst fucking trip of my life. I got so high. I don't know what is real. Is this real? Graham hits me. Ouch, you twat.
It's real, mate.
Great. I wake up in a skip with you holding a bottle of piss and him marinating in your ball gravy. What a fucking nightmare.
Welcome back to reality, mate. And thus concludes Dean Tale. We are all caught up now. Dean escaped death, even if it was a weed trip, to only wake up to witness something far more horrific. Graham's orgasm. Some say trauma fades with time. Dean, however, never smoked Head Crush again. Chapter 15. Hardest Geezers and Back to the 80s. Dean stands dead center in a skip, surrounded by bin bags, a broken printer, and what looks like the remains of a haunted teddy bear. His hair's a mess. His shirt smells like piss and onions, and he's still reeling from head crush that Nathan gave him. Dean slurring slightly.
Right, I'm getting out of this shithole and cleaning myself up proper.
Graham is bent over looking at his collection of different bottles. Right. Oh, mate. Dean stares up at him, unimpressed.
Dirty wank goblin.
Nathan is half buried under bin bags, legs twitching, dribbling onto a mouldy cornetto wrapper.
Keep an eye on him, yeah? Not 'cause I give a toss, but I don't know. If he dies in there, someone might blame me. And I don't fancy another murder charge.
Dean climbs out like a drunk Spider-Man, flops onto the pavement, groans, then starts the trudge home. Dean opens the door. The flat is less spatula pad and more a biohazard incident. The stench punches him in the nose like a jealous ex.
Jesus Christ, did someone do a ritual in here?
He peeks into the bathroom. One look and he recoils.
Nope, whatever's growing in there can have it.
Dean then heads to the kitchen, cleans himself up using the sink, some fairy liquid and a half-dry flannel. While scrubbing his pits, he spots a crumpled calendar. Dean starts reading it.
Dean's birthday bash, bring booze, no pigs allowed. Oh, fuck me, that's tonight.
The pub's dim, sticky and beautiful. Pinston's wheelchair is decorated with streamers. Baz stands at the bar, pint in one hand, other hand raised like he's announcing war.
Oi, oi! There he is, the birthday boy! Time to get the drinks down us!
Pints are slammed, shots appear like magic, and the pub starts spinning before Dean's even sat down.
Got you a surprise, mate. Big one. Unless it's a curry and a blowjob, I'm not interested. Better. Me and you are going to be on Hardest Geezers.
Dean blinks, like his brain buffer's still loading.
What, that epic show where they find out who's a proper geezer? Yeah, that one. And guess what? Tonight's episode, brother versus brother. You versus me, bruv.
Right, lads, I'll see you on the telly in a bit.
What are you on about, Pinston? It's a live episode. Better down these as pints and head over.
Dean and Baz down their pints and head over to the studio.
It's Hardest Geezer. Tonight, it's brother versus brother. Dean the pint sinker. McGee versus Barry, the slap rat McGee.
McGee, that's not my fucking surname nor yours. They wanted surnames. So it was the first thing that popped into my head.
The crowd is roaring, pint cans flying, everyone's at least 30% pissed. A mad-eyed host with a clipboard and a megaphone swaggers to center stage, dressed in a tracksuit made entirely of reflective foil.
Ladies, gentlemen, and you in the lead shirt, put that ferret down. Tonight on Hardest Geezers, it's blood, sweat, and vindaloo. Dean versus Baz. Brothers, rivals, bellends, 5 challenges. 1 winner, no dignity. Challenge 1, bottle cap, headbutt mayhem.
A row of 10 bottles each, spotlights beam down. The crowd chants, "Headbutt, headbutt!"
Simple rules. 10 beer bottles. First to pop all their caps using nothing but their thick skull wins. Last one conscious gets free NHS dental.
Baz cracking his neck.
You ready, dickhead? Mate, I came out the womb headbutting midwives.
Bang! The buzzer sounds. Baz goes full rugby scrum. Crack! Bottle 1 off. Crack! 2 down. Dean's technique, pure chaos. No form, just fury. Whack! Blood sprays. Dean grinning, his forehead split.
I'm fine, just leaking charisma.
Baz slows, sways by bottle 6. He connects with hash 8, then collapses like a bin bag full of liver. Dean raising arms, wobbling.
That's what you get for being a prick, you mug.
We have a winner. Challenge 1 goes to Dean. Challenge 2, Chili Vindaloo Wrestling.
Music changes to Bollywood disco. A kiddie pool filled with Vindaloo glistens under disco lights. The crowd's gagging already.
Slippery, spicy, slightly illegal, it's time for the curry scuffle of doom.
Dean and Baz are shirtless, dripping in chip oil. Baz is already grinning like he's hiding a fart.
Why is it hot near my bollocks already? Because I pissed in the pool first.
They dive in. It's mayhem, curry flying. Dean slips, knees Baz in the ribs. Baz grabs a handful of curry and wham! Right in Dean's eyes. Dean screams in pain.
My eyes, it's in my retina, I can see flavor.
A referee in flip-flops and a traffic cone hat blows a whistle.
Baz wins, disgusting but effective.
You curry goblin bastard.
Challenge 3, pint balancing punch-out.
Spotlights dim, 2 stools, 2 pints balanced on heads. They face off like it's a pisshead samurai duel.
You flinch, you spill, you lose. Welcome to the most British challenge ever designed.
Don't flinch like last time, Dino. It's embarrassing. Boy, you flinched when you saw your own reflection, so shut it.
They trade punches. Baz smacks Dean. Dean burps but holds steady. Dean retaliates. Thump!
I think I just shat a bit.
Baz's pint topples. Splash. Dean throws jazz hands.
Still got the balance of a pissed ballerina, baby.
Dean wins the Bureau Slap-O. Challenge 4, Deadlift Dodgeball Derby.
A chaotic hybrid of pain and PE class nightmares. Each lad has to deadlift a wheelbarrow of bricks while being pelted by dodgeballs from a gang of sugar-high children.
Lifting, dodging, crying, let's go!
Bricks clank, kids roar, one boy pelts Dean in the groin.
Your mum's got crusty feet.
Oi, I shagged your mom in '87. Lovely woman.
Baz tries to power through, red-faced and roaring like a constipated rhino. Just as he's finding a rhythm, a rogue banana peel, chucked by some giggling brat, skids underfoot.
You can't stop the Bastra train, baby. You can't stop the Bastra train, baby.
Slip! He goes horizontal mid-sentence, arms flailing like a broken windmill. He crashes face first into his own wheelbarrow of bricks with a noise like a cement mixer having a stroke. Baz muffled face smooshed in bricks.
Me tooth's gone rogue. I'm spitting out enamel like Tic Tacs.
Oi, now your teeth match your brain, both full of holes.
The crowd loses it. Baz staggers to his feet, swaying like a shopping trolley with a wonky wheel. One brick is somehow wedged in the waistband of his pants. He half drags, half crawls the wheelbarrow across the line, trailing blood, sweat and curry fumes.
I win, and I've got gravel in me arse crack. Physio till next Thursday, lads.
It's 2 apiece. Final round to see who is hardest geezer. Challenge 5, final round, verbal abuse showdown.
All lights cut, one spotlight, one mic. The studio crowd goes still. It's like the final battle of 8 Mile, but with more pork scratchings.
1 insult each, no flinching, no mercy. Let's hear who's got the sharpest tongue in this bin fire of a family.
Baz grabs the mic first.
You look like trauma in human form, and you've got the stench of every mistake Mom ever made.
Gasps. Pint clinks. Dean steps forward, eyes cold.
You were adopted, and Mum used to call you the wrong one when you weren't looking.
Baz falters. Lips wobble. Someone sobs in the distance. A pint smashes.
You absolute bastard.
Silence, then roar. The studio erupts. Dean raises a single middle finger, triumphant. Baz rushes him, tackles him in a hug/headlock. Both collapse in laughter and exhaustion.
And there it is, our winner, Dino, king of the headbutt, balance baron, and the insult overlord. Tune in next week for Hardest Geezers, Pensioner Smackdown.
Dean and Baz head back to the bystander. Pinston, propped up in his favourite corner, with 2 empty pint glasses, lights up as the door swings open. Dean and Baz step in, still buzzing from the Hardest Geezer show. That was epic, lads. You Dean, you mad bastard, you actually won it. Thought you were going to die halfway through, though. Dean staggering to the bar.
Yeah, well, pain is temporary, but TV immortality is forever. Oi prick, pints and whatever doesn't smell like feet.
Baz slaps Dean on the back.
A proper birthday, eh? Admit it.
Dean reluctantly agrees.
All right, fine. Best birthday gift I've ever had. Happy now you get?
I'm just surprised you ain't got Martin on your back saying, "Oh, Dean, you shouldn't be doing that," in that whiny little voice of his.
Haha, yeah. That little faggot of yours. Where is he anyway?
Dean pauses. He stares into his pint. The laughter dies down.
He's gone. What you mean gone? He saved my life and didn't make it out. That's all I'm saying.
A quiet beat. Shit, mate, that's rough. Really rough. Baz raises his pint, toasting.
To your faggot, Martin. Lanky Gid always seemed like he'd be around forever, especially after that first time we met him. You remember, Dean? You beat 7 shades of shit out of him.
Dean smiling faintly.
How could I forget?
Suddenly the room ripples. Lights flicker, glasses tremble. Flashback sequence initiated, 1980s style. Yes, we are doing another flashback episode, get over it. Righto 1983. A telly blares old reruns of Gladiators. Dean is sprawled on a beanbag eating a cold kebab. Baz is fiddling with a stolen Rolex. Pinston walks in fully upright, not broken, with a smug grin. Guess what, lads? I didn't get my leg snapped by those skinheads.
Fucking hell, that's the most disappointing news I've had all day. We were already planning your wheelchair nickname. I had Wheels McCripple on standby.
Sorry to ruin the party, but I can still walk, and more importantly, I can still dance.
Right, that settles it. Let's do something stupid. Vegas?
Fucking Vegas.
Vegas! Vegas!
Vegas!
We need cash first. Better get to work, lads.
A glorious, chaotic sequence of the lads stealing cars all over town. Dean hotwires a mint-green Ford Escort while singing Sexy Eyes by Dr. Hook. Baz smashes a window with a brick, apologizing to a cat inside. Pinston tries to flirt his way into the driver's seat of a Volvo, fails, and just pushes the old lady over instead. Grease, fire, sparks flying. Baz's chop shop looks like Mad Max. The stolen cars are getting taken apart by the lads looking greasy as...
We shift the parts, call up Bald Tony and Basildon, get cash, and boom, we're hitting the strip.
Dean wiping oil from his face.
God bless crime, it's the only thing that's never let me down.
Apart from condoms.
Fair point.
Baz sorts out a deal and Tony gives the boys the cash.
Airport, lads, let's go.
British chaos. Baz is kicking a vending machine that ate his last pound coin. Pinston is leaning suavely against a pillar, attempting to charm a woman in a high-vis jacket who clearly works security. Dean's swaggering backwards on the moving walkway, drinking a can of Tizer and carrying a duty-free bag he absolutely hasn't paid for. Final boarding call for flight 247 to Las Vegas. Would passengers Baz, Dean and Pinstone please proceed to Gate 4 immediately? Pinstone? I sound like a crap DIY brand sold off the back of a lorry.
Vegas ain't gonna disgrace itself, lads. Let's go make some international regrets.
They shuffle through the metal detector. Baz sets off the scanner twice and refuses to take his Walkman off. Dean tries to smuggle 3 sausage rolls through in his sock. Pinston winks at the bored-looking X-ray operator. What's this, sir?
Traditional British foot meat, that's emotional support pastry?
Oi, don't chuck it. That's breakfast, lunch and hangover insurance. Crammed in the back row near the toilets. Dean's hoodie is over his face like a teenage gremlin. Baz is halfway through a litre of vodka disguised in a mouthwash bottle. Pinston's trying to impress the woman in front with origami made from a soggy top of the Pops magazine page. Dean raising a tiny bottle of in-flight whiskey.
To the lads, to Vegas, to a weekend we won't remember and a rash we definitely will. To bad choices and worse decisions.
To waking up next to someone who doesn't speak English and maybe owns a switchblade. They clink tiny plastic cups. A flight attendant walks by.
Sir, your foot's in the aisle again.
That's not a foot, darling, it's a statement.
Dean is dead asleep with sunglasses drawn on in blue Sharpie. Baz is fiddling with the duty-free trolley, whispering about liberating a Toblerone. Pinston is now shirtless, glittered and singing Wake Me Up Before You Go Go with a hen party in row 19. Pair of 9s, ladies, and nothing but optimism in my pants.
He's not even wearing pants.
Turbulence hits, gin flies, screams echo. Dean is jolted awake.
Bollocks, are we crashing? Did I die drunk again?
Ladies and gentlemen, just a bit of turbulence over the Rockies. We'll be through it shortly.
If we go down, put it on record. Baz owes me 20 quid and Pinston still hasn't returned my Donna Summer LP.
Pinston holding it up across the aisle. Found it in my trousers. The strip explodes in lights like a jukebox on speed. The boys stumble out of McCarran Airport with duty-free bags, mostly stolen, a traffic cone and a suitcase that definitely isn't theirs. The suitcase had a name tag on it saying Oscar Choma. Dean, being the cheeky chap that he is, opened it and had a look inside to see if it was another worth nicking. Turned out there was loads of packs of pierogi in there, few pairs of thongs and a book. The book title was My Story. Black Site Survival, the description on the book, read 1939 USA Black Site, Frank the Butcher, and The Crazy Escape with Allgemein Dean by Klaus Schultz. Dean chuckled that his name was in a book, yet thought the suitcase was full of shit, so toss it away. As he did, the lads noticed. A pink limousine idles at the curb. They pile in without question. Dean goes to the driver.
Take us somewhere sinful, dangerous, and ideally damp. If there's shrimp, I'm eating it, even off someone's lap.
I want to wake up married or wanted by the FBI, no in between. The limo blasts off into the neon chaos, blaring synth pop. 3 British idiots ready to ruin lives, including their own. Lights, booze, half-naked people and someone dressed like Chewbacca doing coke off a roulette wheel. The lads are drunk, sweaty and loving it. This is like Skegness on steroids and regret.
Where's the Elvis chapel? I want to marry my liver before it gives up.
The lads all start singing away.
Me, Baz and Pinstons, 3 walking disasters, drinking like fish, shagging like bastards. 80s nights where the floors were sticky. Pinston scored once and it smelled kinda dirty. Baz had fists like bricks on fire. I had charm, will, mostly desire. Pinstons, that mad cunt always half naked. We drag his drunk ass out before he got arrested. Beer, tits and fights in the street. Whiskey-soaked chaos, we couldn't be beat. Every pub knew us, every answered it too. If there's trouble to start with a fucking crew.
They then head into a bar.
What the fuck?
No way it's him, that faggot from back home.
Martin.
Martin stands by the bar, sipping something pink and expensive. Perfect hair, soft jumper, a walking posh boy ad.
Why is he here? He's like a fucking scented candle in a firework factory.
Let's pretend we don't speak English.
You don't anyway. Martin spots them and walks over, all polite smiles and awkward charm.
Oh, Dean, Baz, Pinston, funny seeing you here.
Yeah, hilarious. Hilarious as a headache.
I'm here on a break, just got dumped, thought I'd splash out.
Baz whispers to Dean.
If he's loaded, maybe we keep him around just till we rob him.
Yeah? Could use a wallet with legs?
Fine, he can tag along. But if he starts crying to Boy George or asks for sparkling water, I'm shoving him in a fountain.
A montage of Vegas madness happens. Martin pays for everything, VIP booths, bottle service, cocaine sushi, and a mechanical bull rental. Pinston nearly gets arrested for punching a mime. Baz wakes up with a full back tattoo of David Bowie. Dean and Martin keep getting drunker, flirtier, and eventually just snog at the top of the Eiffel Tower replica. The neon hums like a hangover in progress. Dean and Martin stumble out the side of a club, drunk, giggling, and glitter-covered. Dean wipes glittery lip balm off his mouth, scowling.
No more snogging. I've got strawberry lip crap in my teeth and I'm starting to like you. That's dangerous.
That wasn't me. That was the tequila and your questionable standards.
Behind them, Pinston crashes through a stack of bin bags in pursuit of a mime, fists swinging. He started it. He mimed calling my mum a tart. Baz stumbles out next, shirtless, showing off a fresh full-back tattoo of David Bowie in his Ziggy Stardust phase.
Right. Either I met God or a man named Derek with a tattoo gun. Either way, worth it.
Baz, you've got a lightning bolt arse crack now.
Bowie's watching over me, mate.
They all cackle until Dean staggers off to piss behind a skip, muttering about
glam rock bollocks.
Suddenly, a junkie jumps in with a flick knife, grabbing at Dean's jacket.
Give us your wallet, Glitter Boy.
Oi, I've already been mugged emotionally tonight.
The junkie gets aggressive. Dean yells. Martin doesn't hesitate, charges in like a madman, wielding the chain from the mechanical bull rental.
Get off him, you little prick!
Whack! Junkie down! Dean's on the ground, breathing heavy, blood trickling from his arm. Did he stab you? What a dick, I'm still mid-fight with a mime.
Not him good.
Dean looks at Martin.
Bloody hell, that could have been it. Gutted in an alley behind an Elvis chapel.
Yeah, well, I'm not letting you go out like that. You've got too many insults left in you.
You saved me.
Of course I did.
And you've seen me cry and piss myself and snog you at altitude.
You also cried at the Muppet movie, don't forget that.
And said you'd marry the sushi.
Shut the fuck up.
Dean gets serious, eyes locked on Martin.
Let's do it. Let's get married, not for love, yet. For survival, for trust, because I'd rather wake up next to you than in a ditch.
You mean it?
Yeah, you're the only bastard I'd get to make me a sandwich or tidy up after me.
I give it a week before they're throwing plates and shagging in matching robes.
Shut up, this is romantic. Martin nods, shakes Dean's hand like they're making a deal in a pub car park.
All right, you're on. Let's get hitched.
But I'm not writing vows. I'll just wing it and swear a lot.
Please do. I want crying pensioners and offended nuns.
Pinston, what the fuck are you on? I want some. Let's go get our Dino married before he changes his mind. Then I'll rip him later over it.
They sling Dean's arms over their shoulders, dragging him toward the tacky Elvis chapel, glowing at the end of the street like a radioactive pigeon coop.
If I die somehow mid-vows, make sure I'm cremated with a pint and some tiger bread.
Noted, but you're not dying. You're getting married to your best mate.
I thought I was his best friend.
Shut it, Pinston.
The boys are absolutely fucked. Martin's wearing a sparkly cowboy suit. Dean has a beer helmet with straws. Elvis Presley is officiating.
Do you, Dean, take this man Martin to be your drunken, sexy, questionably legal partner?
Aye. He's annoying and posh, but he's good little poof.
And I like how you smell like violence and petrol.
This is the most romantic bumfest I've ever seen.
I'm hard and I don't know why.
Then, by the power vested in me by this Buffett coupon and a man called Lou who runs the gift shop, I now pronounce you Mr. and Mr.
After they got married, they went on an epic crazy bender. They checked into Martin's hotel room then. Absolute carnage. The room's trashed. A champagne bottle leaks on the floor. Baz is face down on the carpet, half a David Bowie tattoo finished on his back. Pinston is asleep in the wardrobe, wrapped in a sequined robe and cuddling a rubber chicken. Dean stumbles in with Martin, both shirtless, trousers halfway down, high on booze, Vegas and each other.
Right, wedding night. I'm going to ruin you.
Ooh, romantic. Do I get a choice?
No, now shut up and bend over. You owe me for sushi that came with Coke on it.
I paid for everything.
Exactly. Take your reward like a good lad.
Martin flops onto the bed, giggling. Dean climbs on behind, all swagger and terrible decisions.
Where are you aiming?
Straight up to bum, full steam ahead, no brakes on this train.
Dean slides in. Martin faces into pillow.
Long live the bloody queen.
Suddenly a flash back to dark, violent energy. Dean, full of rage, throws a vicious punch straight into Martin's jaw. Martin crashes into a table, stunned. Everything is silent except the distorted echo of Dean's current voice in his own head.
Inda bum.
Dean stops mid-thrust, blank stare, lost in it.
What's wrong?
I hit you in that pub. Proper belted you.
Well, you're hitting me again now, different kind, but still, carry on.
I'm serious, Poof. You didn't even hit me back. You just stood there bleeding like a kicked puppy.
And then what happened?
You forgave me. You always fucking forgave me.
And now you're shagging me. Growth.
They both break into mad laughter, tangled and ridiculous. Dean wakes up with Martin spooning him like a clingy panda. Baz groans from the tub. Pinston's hanging halfway out the wardrobe, still asleep with lipstick kisses all over his face. Dean blinks at the wedding ring on his finger.
Oh fuck, I bummed into marriage.
Good morning, husband.
You married me, you fucking Poof. How, what, why?
I married you because you cried, sang sweet dreams, and said I was your best mate who never gave up.
Did anyone bring aspirin?
No, mate. Did anyone check if we actually married a real minister? No clue, but I definitely sealed the deal with my dick.
They all groan. The room transitions back to present day.
You know, thinking back, Martin wasn't half bad.
For a posh bloke who flinched at a pub scrap, he had some stones.
Aye. Wouldn't let you bleed out in that alley, even if you were an arsehole. He saved my life, and he never, well, hardly ever rubbed it in.
Fair play to him. Could have left you for dead.
Still, you're a faggot.
Dean rolls his eyes.
Cheers, prick.
He stands, grabs his jacket off the back of the booth.
I'm off then, night, you lot.
Pinston raises his glass in farewell. Baz just smirks. Dean strides out of the pub into the night alone, the door swinging shut behind him. Chapter 16, The Woofder. Dean stumbles out the pub alone, pissed up. He squints at the night like it's done something wrong.
Christ, I'm seeing double. 2 moons? Nah, wait. One's just the glowing arse of a taxi with its fog light stuck on.
He shuffles along the street, belly grumbling. He clocks a greasy burger van up ahead, glowing like a holy beacon.
Ooh, yes, dirty cow burger time.
He lumbers up to the window, licking his lips. The burger van bloke nods at him.
What'll it be?
Your filthiest burger, extra sauce, no salad. I'm not a healthy twat.
The bloke nods, gets to work. Dean takes the burger as soon as it's wrapped and legs it.
Oi, 6 quid, mate.
Dean, mouth full, running away.
Wanker should have charged me before.
Dean disappears into the night, chomping and chuckling. He stops in the middle of the street, unzips and starts having a piss.
Ah, nature's way. Fuck it, I don't care.
He sighs, relaxing, then suddenly winces in thought.
Ah, shit, the flat's a fucking mess. Martin would have had a fucking fit right now.
A flamboyant voice cuts through the night.
Oh, Dean.
Dean turns his head midstream. Luke is standing there like a disco peacock, sparkly jacket, eyeliner, tight trousers, classic bloody woofer.
I've just heard from your brother. Martin's gone. You must be devastated. Do you need some company tonight?
Dean zips up and stares at Luke.
Well, I need someone to sort my flat out.
Luke beams, thinking he's in. Sachets beside him.
That's what you call a slow burn seduction.
Dean collapses onto the sofa and passes out like a tranquilized bear. Luke flits around like a sparkly housemaid, scrubbing, fluffing cushions, lighting candles. The next morning, Dean wakes up, hair wild, dry mouth.
What the hell?
He sits up. The flat looks immaculate, like something out of a showroom.
Bloody hell, that's pretty good. For a woofder.
Dean thinks to himself.
Maybe this woofder can stay here for a bit.
Dean then notices Luke stands nearby with a cup of herbal tea, smiling sweetly.
Morning, sweet cheeks.
Dean grunts. He has now sprawled himself on the sofa like a dying king.
I'm starving like I've just crawled out of a trench in Nam. Go get me some tiger bread, then make me a sandwich, thick slices, and don't skimp on the butter or cheese.
Luke perking up like a puppy in heat.
Sure thing. I could become your new lover, you know.
Dean then sits up again, just enough to glare.
Shut the fuck up, you bloody fucking woofder. You can be my sidekick, not my shag. There's a difference. Sidekicks bring sandwiches. Lovers bring drama and crabs.
Luke grins like he's just won a cuddly toy at the fair.
Got it, boss. One tiger bread adventure coming right up.
Dean waves him off like a tired monarch. Luke skips out of the house humming some god-awful show tune. Later, The front door slams open. Luke returns triumphantly, holding a paper bag like it's Excalibur.
Behold, I have returned, Sir Dean of Sandwichshire.
Dean eyes the bag. You got the tiger bread, right?
Yeah, of course.
Luke hurries along and makes Dean's sandwich. Luke hands him the sandwich like it's gold-plated. Dean takes one bite, pauses, then promptly spits the whole lot straight into the kitchen sink with the force of a water cannon.
What in the name of pickled bollocks is this?
It's sourdough. They were out, so I got sourdough. Thought it'd be a bit more rhizomatazelle.
Rizo what?
You know, fancy, bougie, European, like bread with an arts degree.
Fuck your fancy European shit. Seriously, sourdough? I asked for tiger bread, not this hipster horse shit. This tastes like regret wrapped in pretension.
It's meant to be artisan.
It's meant to be bread, not a fucking yoga instructor in loaf form. Christ, my tongue feels like it just got mugged in Shoreditch.
Dean stands up and delivers a slap. Not violent, just dramatic, like a Victorian aunt fainting at bad news. It echoes like a cartoon symbol.
You sparkle sponge. Next time, if they're out of tiger bread, you break into the back and bake one, got it?
Luke holding his face, slightly aroused.
Got it, boss.
Dean phone goes off with a message from Pinston. Need help, mate? Meet at co-op.
I'll be out for a while, you woofder. Clean up the kitchen.
Dean barges into the flat a couple of hours later, sweat-soaked, wild-eyed, and dragging one arm like it's recently been through trauma. He's got what looks like oil, mud, and at least one suspicious brown smear on his shirt. He drops his keys with a grunt.
Never again. Never again. Am I helping Pinston? He popped down the shops, he said. That bastard's chair lost a wheel halfway across the co-op car park. Had to tow him back with a mop handle and blind rage. I'm half man, half hernia now.
Dean then notices something off. He stops, sniffs. The air smells like candy floss and varnish. He turns toward the living room. His pupils dilate. The entire room is violently, unapologetically pink, like the kind of pink that belongs on novelty vibrators, haunted Barbies, or cursed milkshakes.
Why does it smell like a flamingo's asshole dipped in nail varnish remover and shame?
Luke bursts in, grinning, wearing paint-stained dungarees and pink Crocs with glitter skull charms. He wields a dripping roller like a weapon forged in the fires of fabulous hell.
Ta-da! While you were off rescuing Pinwheel Pete, heroic by the way, I thought I'd surprise you. Gave the lounge a glow-up. Doesn't it feel softer now? Like a hug. But from inside your eyes.
You painted the flat to look like a flamingo exploded during Pride Week.
It's called Pink Passion Fruit with a subtle raspberry bloom. It was on a blog called Campin' Cozy.
It looks like a unicorn shit itself mid-breakdown.
It's energy work, color therapy. You're surrounded by serotonin now. Feel the healing, Dean. Breathe in the blush.
Dean sniffs and gags.
That smell's not healing. It's like someone melted a Barbie in a sauna full of air fresheners.
Luke, gesturing proudly to a scented candle on the table.
Midnight Peach and Figgy Redemption. Notes of forgiveness and raw intimacy.
That smells like regret in a bottle, mixed with STDs and sugar.
It opens the room up. Don't you feel the space? It's like Marie Kondo, but drunk.
I feel like I've been throat punched by a mood board.
Still better than the depressing Battle Gray you had before.
It was called Concrete Storm. It had grit.
It had depression, Dean.
I helped one mate in a wheelchair over a pothole the size of Belgium and come home to this. I could have died out there, Luke. Got taken down by a snail. A big one. It looked at me funny.
But now, you're safe. You're warm. You're surrounded by love and magenta euphoria.
One more euphoric decision from you and I'm painting you gloss beige and mailing you to IKEA.
Dean trudges into the kitchen, muttering to himself, the sound of the kettle dripping and a single light flickering like it's also given up on life. He opens the cupboard with a grunt, shoves aside a cereal box, a first aid kit, and a novelty mug shaped like a boob before triumphantly pulling out a near-empty bottle of whiskey.
Come to Papa.
He unscrews the cap with his teeth, pours a generous measure into a chipped pint glass, ignoring the faint smell of washing-up liquid, and saunters into the lounge like a man returning from war. Dean collapses into the sofa, legs spread, drink in hand, crisps balanced on his knee. He grabs the remote with the solemnity of a priest lifting a Bible.
Right, time for hardest geezer, real telly, blokes in pain doing stupid shit for honor, just what the soul needs, especially after my time on the show.
He clicks the remote. Instead of a sweaty man running through the Sahara or punching a crocodile, the TV bursts to life with a booming orchestra and a line of miserable Frenchmen in waistcoats singing, "Do you hear the people sing?" Dean squints at the telly.
What in the actual bollocking bollocks is this?
He clicks again. Now it's Grease. Again, the Phantom of the Opera. Again. Now it's The Sound of Music, and Julie Andrews is frolicking with a vengeance. Dean blinks in horror.
Where's my hardest geezer? I want blokes in mud, not high notes and waistcoats.
Luke enters, jazz-handing into the room, wearing a glittery shawl, gold slippers, and what appears to be eyeliner and lip gloss. He twirls dramatically, ending in a bow.
Ta-da! Welcome to musical mode. I've reprogrammed the telly. From now on, only musicals. Non-stop, sparkle-streamed, jazz-handed, you're welcome.
Dean slowly turns toward him like a predator, hearing rustling.
You what?
No more war documentaries or muddy blokes crying about marathons. Only joy, emotion, and the human spirit expressed through song and over-the-top choreography.
I don't want joy. I want the hardest geezer. I want to see a bloke get heat stroke while chewing raw protein powder.
You need healing. You need drama, tears, and tap shoes. Musicals are soul food. You've been living on rage and monster munch.
Dean, looking back at the telly as Jean Valjean starts crying in HD.
I swear to Christ, Luke, if I have to watch one more emotional Frenchman in a corset belting at the sky, I will throw myself out the window and take you with me.
You're resisting joy. That's called toxic masculinity.
No, that's called, I didn't ask for High School Musical to hijack my evening, you sequined menace.
It's synced across all platforms. I used an app, Broadway Baby Mode. Blocks non-musical content across streaming, Freeview, and even YouTube. It's genius.
That's not genius, that's terrorism. You've turned my lounge into a hostage theater.
He jabs the remote, panicking. Nothing changes. Luke spins and leaps onto the armrest like a smug elf. Luke starts singing.
I dreamed a dream in times gone by.
I dreamed a dream where I had my own house, a telly, a whiskey, a bit of peace. You've turned my night into a bloody jukebox from hell.
Just lean into it. Let the music move you. The revolution will be sung.
The revolution's about to be me snapping this remote in half and shoving it where the sun don't jazz hands.
Luke, now grabbing a hairbrush as a mic.
Don't cry for me, Dejan Winchester. The truth is, I never liked football.
Dean stands up wild-eyed.
I'll say this once nicely, turn it back.
No.
Fucking turn it fucking back now.
Luke spins around and around.
Never.
Fine. Next musical that plays, I'm bringing out the switchblade, and I'm gonna reenact Sweeney Todd, but I ain't singing a word.
A pause. Then on screen, Mamma Mia starts. Pierce Brosnan begins to sing.
Right, that's it.
Dean slowly places his whiskey on the side table like it's made of crystal and dreams, then storms across the room.
Ooh, this is the bit where Meryl sings in dungarees. It's transcendent, Dean.
Nope, just fucking nope.
Dean charges forward, scoops Luke up like a glitter-covered sack of chaos, and hurls him straight into the telly. There's a crack, a flash, and a shower of rainbow sparks as the screen shatters on impact. Luke's voice muffled, dazed from inside the wreckage.
I think I just passed through black and white TV.
You're buying me a new fucking telly, Luke.
Dean kicks the remains of the screen, which lets out one last dying Mamma Mia before finally going dark. Luke pulling himself out, glitter in his hair, not angry, just genuinely stunned.
I was just trying to, I don't know, lighten the mood. You've seemed rough lately. I thought musicals might help.
Dean stares at him. The rage simmers, but cools a little.
Woofder, I appreciate the thought, I do. But healing doesn't involve les me. It involves not hearing Russell Crowe sob-sing at me when I'm trying to eat crisps.
Fair. Honestly, his vibrato is traumatic.
Dean plops back down on the couch, eyeing the TV corpse like it might twitch back to life.
I wanted a quiet night, just blokes in mud and bad decisions. Is that too much to ask?
No, you deserve that. I'll get you a new telly, one that can install Broadway Baby Mode.
And
I won't bedazzle the remote.
Dean raises an eyebrow.
Without asking.
Dean nods, satisfied.
All right. But if I ever catch Andrew Lloyd Webber's ghost in this house again, he's getting an exorcism and a cricket bat.
Luke, now fully upright and dusting off broken HDMI cables, offers a small, sheepish smile. Luke then heads off to bed.
Don't forget new fucking telly tomorrow.
Sunlight filters through the curtains like a hangover apology. Dean shuffles in, shirtless, hair a vertical mess, eyes crusted with the regrets of last night's whiskey and musical trauma. He scratches his belly like a caveman trying to activate fire and stops dead in his tracks. Dean eyes widened.
No fucking way.
In the center of the room, where the crime scene of yesterday's TV explosion still lingers in emotional memory, stands a brand new television. It's massive, obscenely large, borderline unethical. It gleams like Excalibur in Curry's. Dean approaches reverently, circling it like a predator, unsure if it's a trap.
Bloody hell, it's bigger than the last one. It's bigger than Luke's ego. It's beautiful.
He crouches beside it, pressing a button. The screen powers on, displaying a vivid 4K image of a man falling off a rock climber platform while holding a protein shake. Dean tearing up.
Hardest geezer in Ultra HD. You can see his soul leave his body in slow motion.
Dean stands, a hand over his heart.
Maybe he's not a total wanker.
Dean lumbers into the kitchen, still glowing from his telly high. He yawns mid-step and scratches his stomach, absent-mindedly. Then stops, freezes like a war vet hearing helicopter blades. Because there, dead center in the kitchen, is Luke, beaming like a demented elf at Christmas, holding up a monstrosity that should not exist. A matching set of glittery knitted pants and a vest, complete with a unicorn stitched on the front, wings outstretched, and the phrase, "Sassy till I die," embroidered in sequins underneath. The glitter catches the morning sun and scatters it around the room like a disco ball threw up.
Ta-da! Couple goals. I made us matching outfits for Sunday brunch. Sparkles mean confidence.
Dean blinking like a man slowly realizing he's not dreaming.
Are those hot pants?
Yep, with built-in thigh shimmer. It's a yarn glitter blend. Revolutionary, breathable, bold, sexy.
I'm not wearing anything that glitters near my bollocks. That's how I got banned from Butlins and put on the pub watch list in Leeds.
It's soft, Dean, like being hugged by a unicorn. And the vest has sequined nipples, nipple tassels. I made them detachable so you can switch moods.
Dean seizing a chair for balance.
You stitched mood tassels into knitwear.
Of course, the sad ones droop a bit.
Jesus Christ.
Imagine it. Us, walking down the high street in perfect glittery sync, sequins sparkling, the wind in our vests. We'd look like two sexy disco lobsters out for brunch and revenge.
I'd rather walk hand in hand with a live power cable.
Come on, just try them on. For the vibes, for the brunch aesthetic, for Instagram. I've already made the caption. From grit to glitz, Dean and Luke's dazzling debut.
The day I wear glitter on my knackers is the day the Queen rises from the grave, skateboards down the Thames and knights me for services to Sparkle.
Luke gently like he's offering a kitten.
She might, you know, you'd be Sir Sparkle Nuts.
Dean grabbing a dishcloth and swinging it like a weapon.
You've got 5 seconds to back away before I knight you with this tea towel and declare war on your whole fashion line.
Luke panicking but giggling.
Dean, think about your personal brand.
I'm going to couple my boot with your arse, Woofder. One for each hot pant leg.
You'll never be brunch fabulous with that attitude.
I don't want to be brunch fabulous. I want sausages, coffee, and a complete absence of sparkle near my sensitive bits.
Luke slowly lowers the hot pants like they're a wounded bird.
Okay, not this time, but the fact that I even offered, that's friendship, Dean.
That's harassment with a glitter trail. I got you the telly, didn't I?
Dean pauses. Damn it, he did. He exhales, shaking his head, and walks over to Luke. He picks up the unicorn vest delicately, like it might bite.
I'm not wearing this, but I will hang it up somewhere out of reach so it can't hurt anyone else.
That's all I ask.
And if I wake up wearing it?
That probably means you passed out and I got bored.
You need a hobby that isn't glitter-based.
You are my hobby, darling.
Dean groans, walks over to the fridge and grabs a cold sausage roll like it's an emotional support snack.
You're lucky that telly's massive, mate. Otherwise, I'd be knitting you a matching outfit with lead lining.
Ooh, kinky.
Dean clips Luke around the head.
Woofder.
Later on, Dean's sprawled on the sofa, finally at peace. The new telly glows with the sweet, beautiful suffering of a man trying to canoe across the Amazon in a shopping trolley. He munches a Scotch egg. He's serene, balanced, almost human. Dean mutters to himself.
This is the dream.
Suddenly the lights dim. A dramatic breeze whooshes through the room from nowhere, blowing in glitter and menace. The music swells, a slow, sultry saxophone. Dean frowned, Scotch egg paused mid-air.
Oh no fucking no.
From the hallway emerges Luke, in a full-body fox costume. Not a cheap Primark job. This thing has animatronic ears, LED eyes, and a tail that actually wags. He moves in slow motion, like a stripper at a furry convention with too much time and no shame. Luke seductively crawls in, tail wagging like it's possessed.
Come play with me, big boy. Let me be your little woodland temptation.
Dean stares, doesn't move, just watches this happen like he's disassociating from reality.
What the actual fuck?
Luke crawls forward on all fours, tongue out, panting like a horny Beatrix Potter character. He starts making little fox noises, somewhere between a squeak and a mating call played backwards.
Yep, Daddy, I'm your little forest sin. Nope.
Dean springs up, snatches Luke by the scruff of his foxy neck like an exorcist grabbing a demon toddler, and hurls him full force across the room. Crash, thud, drywall agony. Luke hits the wall and goes straight into it like a cartoon. Half of his body is now embedded in the plasterboard, arms flailing, tail twitching wildly. Luke's voice muffled but chipper.
Still worth it.
Dean stalks over, glaring at the fur sticking out of his wall like the world's worst taxidermy project.
You've got 5 seconds to tell me what the fuck that was, before I start playing fox hunt with a cricket bat and a jar of peanut butter.
It was supposed to be a whimsical erotic surprise. I had choreography.
Whimsical erotic, are you having a stroke? Since when does sexy time involve woodland mammals and tail-controlled Bluetooth speakers?
You didn't notice the playlist? It's synced with my butt.
Dean looks down. Sure enough, the tail's LED lights are pulsing in time with the music. It's playing Careless Whisper. Dean turns to the heavens.
God, if you're up there, please smite him just this once. Or me, honestly, surprise me.
If you kill me, the costume's gonna be really hard to get off.
Woofder, I'm gonna bury you in it.
That's kinda hot.
Dean walks away, muttering like a man on the edge.
I'm live with a guy who uses animatronic tails to seduce people. My telly's bigger than my sanity. My snacks are gone. My walls are full of fox.
Still better than musicals?
You know what? I'm not even mad anymore. I'm tired. You've outweirded my anger. That costume, that unholy fox stripper hybrid look, that broke me. Mentally, spiritually, possibly sexually.
Ah, you think I'm sexy?
Dean throws a book at him.
Shut up, forsooth.
Luke giggles and wiggles his stuck tail.
Yep.
The room's quiet now. Luke's still stuck halfway in the wall in his fox costume, snoring softly like a deranged woodland creature. His tail gives the occasional twitch, LED lights pulsing to the beat of a dream no one should witness. Dean's on the sofa, blanket over his legs, whiskey in hand. The telly plays, but he's not watching. His eyes are on nothing, on something far away.
Why the hell do I keep letting him stay?
He sips from the glass, grimaces, not at the taste, at the thought.
Every day it's musicals, sparkles, furries, emotional terrorism.
He glances at Luke still firmly embedded in the wall like the universe's worst art installation.
Could kick him out, should have like 8 disasters ago. But then it's just me again.
A long silence.
Been just me since Martin.
He swallows hard, like the name itself still burns on the way down.
Place got real quiet after that, too bloody quiet. Echoes and ghosts and memories that don't shut up. Luke's exhausting, like living with a glitter bomb that screams, but at least it's not silent.
He glances toward the foxtail dangling out of the wall.
He's a lunatic, a sparkly sequined lunatic.
A tiny smile flickers, the kind you don't admit is real.
But he makes the ghosts shut up, even if just by yelling louder than they do.
Does Dean still hear me? Does he think I'm a ghost? What the fuck? Little prick. I'm the narrator. Dean raises his glass slightly, not much, just a nod, a private toast to no one.
To chaos and company.
He drains the last of the whiskey, flicks off the telly, and throws a cushion over his head. From the wall, Luke sleep mumbling. Yep, cuddle fox. In the morning, Dean stands at the window in his dressing gown, mug of builder's tea in hand, staring out like a war general surveying a battlefield. Outside, 2 pigeons are locked in a brutal death match over a half-eaten doner kebab. One pecks with the precision of a sniper. The other does a weird little spin like it's rehearsed choreography.
And people say nature's beautiful.
Behind him, the new telly glows softly, paused mid-frame on a bloke being chased through a hedge maze by an angry goat. The screen is bigger, sharper. He likes it. Not that he'd ever admit it. He breathes in. The flat is quiet, blessedly, beautifully quiet. The hole in the wall has an oddly shaped fox in it. Then, the front door creaks open.
So I come in peace.
Dean's eye twitches. He doesn't even turn around.
You better have some tools to fix the fucking wall with.
I brought a gift, an olive branch, a peace offering forged in the fires of creativity.
I guess that's a start.
Dean turns slowly like a man expecting to find a demon in a tutu. And there's Luke, grinning like a maniac, proudly holding up a USB stick as if it's the final Infinity Stone.
I made us a theme song.
What, like a jingle?
Not a jingle, a legacy, a banger, a spiritual anthem for the duo no one asked for.
Luke skips over to the telly and plugs the USB in like he's disarming a bomb with vibes.
Behold, the dawn of an era.
The speakers erupt into a chaotic synth beat that sounds like someone threw a kazoo into a tumble dryer. Luke's voice comes through, clearly doing every vocal part. It's the Luke and Dean Chronicles. Ready for laughs and cheers? One's a geezer, one's a woofder. Find out who on the Luke and Dean Chronicles. That bloody woofder thinks he is the new Martin? Tune in, Luke and Dean will make your day. No, this is all wrong. Oh fuck, what was that? Dean is going to explode.
You think you can replace Martin with a fucking theme tune? Our theme tune, just redone.
It's not a replacement, it's a tribute, a fresh start. You're like Batman, I'm like sparkly Jason Todd's Robin.
Dick Grayson's Robin never wrote Batman a song where they snogged and made the other one go away.
Dean launches across the room like an angry gorilla, grabs Luke by the collar with one hand, snaps the USB stick with the other.
Get out, and don't ever come back or I'll kill you, you sparkly woofder!
But wait, there's a remix, it's got a ukulele solo.
Out.
Dean boots Luke out and slams the door. The slam knocks a cushion off the couch, something clatters to the floor behind it. Dean glances over. It's box wrap in newspaper. Dean unwraps the paper and throws it on the floor. It's a VHS tape, brand new. The label reads, Happy Birthday in Martin's handwriting. A sticky note's attached. Happy birthday, Dean. Love you, Martin. Dean narrows his eyes.
What the hell is this shit?
He picks it up, sniffs it like it might explode. Brand new, fresh plastic, not dusty or aged.
Martin made this recently and used VHS? Well, someone's got brains. I don't trust USBs or clouds. Can't hack a bloody tape, can you?
Grumbling, he slides it into the old VHS player. Screen buzzes, static clears. Martin appears alive, chipper holding a cake and beaming.
Happy birthday to you.
Oh, fuck off. Not this shit again.
Frozen foods, I'm your spicy flirt, your naughty delight. I'll even wear the thing you like at night. I'll be your servant, your toy snack. Come here, Dean, I bang my crack. I'll love you forever, even when you fart. It's my guilty pleasure, I'll take care of you, the thick and thin. Even when your tiger love is looking slim. So tell me now, how do you like me? Naked on the table, or just like your auntie, however you want me. I'm yours to command, I'm locked in your hubby, your filthy man. Now take me in the bum bum. Happy birthday, Dean.
Shut up! You knew I hated your fucking singing.
Martin grins, blows out the candles, and ends with a heartfelt smile.
Love you, hubby. Hope you have a fab day in my bum bum.
The tape ends. Screen goes back to static. Dean sits there, shaking his head with fury, remote in hand.
I told him every fucking year, don't sing, but no. Wanker made me a birthday VHS with his warbling twat voice on it. Bloody poofter.
He grabs the tape, considers smashing it, then just shoves it under the couch. As he does, something on the floor catches his eye, newspaper wrapping. Part of it reads, Experiment subjects needed, £5,000, 5 minutes, no questions asked. Dean picks it up, eyes narrowing.
$5 grand for sitting still and nodding?
He cracks a smug grin.
Easy fucking money.
Dean already getting up and grabbing his coat, muttering something about whiskey money and tiger bread for life. Dean sits in a suspiciously metallic chair that looks like it was designed by IKEA's evil twin. Shirtless, chewing gum, bored as hell. His arms are strapped in. Sensors stuck to his head. A tube full of green liquid is bubbling nearby like it's making radioactive mojitos. A team of white-coated scientists move around with cold efficiency. One is adjusting a dial labeled, Don't Touch This.
This it? Just zap me and give me cash, right?
Something like that.
Machines buzz. The green goo starts to pulse. A high-pitched whine starts up that could sterilize a hamster. Dean yawns.
Got zapped harder by my nan's dodgy microwave, smelled like lasagna and fear.
Flash! A blinding burst of light. The chair rattles, Dean's teeth clack. Then nothing. Dean blinks groggy. A scientist casually walks over and hands him a thick envelope.
All done, congratulations.
Dean opens it, peeks inside, £5,000 in crisp notes. His entire face lights up like he just got a lap dance from Santa.
Easiest $5 I've ever made.
He swaggers out the lab like he's just nicked the jackpot off Bruce Forsyth, tossing a cheeky V sign over his shoulder. Chapter 17, 1 a Dean, 2 a Dean, 3 a Dean. Oh, hello everyone. In this chapter, I need to give you all some pre-warning bullshit about violence, sexual stuff, and chaos that's going to happen. I mean, if you listen this far, I think you're all set for it anyway. Fucking snowflakes, back to the tale. Outside an abandoned dance hall in Wooton, the sky bleeds a miserable orange like a dirty forgotten stain on an old carpet. Luke sits on a broken concrete step, head buried in his hands, his cheeks crusted with dried tears and snot. A few crushed cans clatter around him, echoing his shattered spirit. His leather jacket lies beside him, discarded and defeated. Luke is sniffling, his voice broken.
Stupid, stupid. Why do you always have to be such a fucking idiot, Luke? Should have kept your mouth shut. Should have just been normal. Should have never bought that goddamn fox costume.
A figure shimmers into view under the piss-yellow light of a battered street lamp. Dean, but not the Dean Luke knows. This Dean is a fever dream. A nightmare in tight silver trousers, a pink feather boa, and a studded leather jacket that glints like a disco ball. His sunglasses are so big they could double as satellite dishes. Luke looks up, eyes wide with disbelief.
Dean, what the fuck are you wearing?
Dean strikes a pose, his voice dripping with sarcasm.
What does it look like, you dumb fuck? I'm fucking fabulous.
Dean spins, the boa whipping around like a deadly serpent. Luke stammers, wiping his nose on his sleeve, desperate for forgiveness.
I hope we're okay. I didn't mean to, make you mad or put on that fucking costume.
Oh, we're fine, sunshine. Just fucking peachy. Why don't we take this somewhere quieter, huh?
Luke nods eagerly, following Dean into the ruins of the dance hall. The air is thick with dust and the stench of mould and dead rats. Dean kicks aside a half-burnt armchair and locks the door with a final, ominous clunk. Dean's voice changes with a dangerous growl.
You wanted me, didn't you, you pathetic little shit?
Yeah, but not like this. Not when you're all sparkly and angry.
Dean lunges, grabbing Luke by the collar and slamming him onto a rotting couch. He climbs on top, his grin savage. He forcefully spreads Luke's legs, hiking up his jeans and tearing his underwear, exposing him completely. Luke tries to squirm away, but Dean's grip is like a vice, his fingers digging into Luke's hips, holding him in place. Dean spits on his hand, rubbing it on his own cock before positioning himself at Luke's entrance. He pushes in slowly at first, a cruel smile on his face as he feels Luke tense and try to pull away.
Relax, you little bitch.
He sneers before slamming into him fully, causing Luke to cry out in pain. Luke is sobbing, trying to wriggle free.
I didn't mean it. I didn't know the theme tune would upset you. It was meant to be cute, Dean. The fox thing. I fucked up.
Dean mocks, starting to move his hips in a brutal rhythm.
You want to be a fox, Luke? Let's hear you scream like one, you little furry fuck. Beg for it. You know you want it.
Dean's movements are harsh and unyielding, each thrust driving Luke further into the rotting couch, his body aching with each impact. He can feel every inch of Dean, the tight trousers doing nothing to hide the harsh reality of what's happening. Luke's cries turn into desperate, choking sobs, his body betraying him as it responds to the brutal intrusion. Dean leans down, his breath hot on Luke's ear as he whispers cruel words, his voice a mocking sing-song.
That's it. Take it like a little bitch. You love this, don't you? Admit it.
Luke crying and desperate.
Please, please, I'll never wear costumes again. I'll smash the speaker. I'll burn the fox outfit. It wasn't ready, Dean. I wasn't ready.
Neither was I, sunshine. Neither was fucking I.
With a final brutal thrust, Dean finishes, his breath ragged as he leans in, his voice a cruel whisper in Luke's ear.
That's what you get, you little bitch. Now it's time to finish this.
Dean wraps his hands around Luke's throat, squeezing with a grin that never fades. Luke kicks and flails, his shoes scrambling against the filthy floor, his face turning purple, spit bubbling out of his mouth and his legs jerking like a dying fish. Dean just stares down, his grin widening, sunglasses still on, blocking out the world. Luke gurgling and with a final desperate wheeze.
I'll buy you a new boa, but pink one. Please.
Dean leans in, whispering in his ear.
Don't bother, Woofder. I'm about to get a brand new foxskin rug.
With one final brutal squeeze, Luke's body jerks, lets out a sad little huff of air, and goes limp. His last breath smells like cider and regret. Dean lets him flop back on the couch, wipes his glittery hands off on Luke's jacket, and strides away, straightening his boa with a flourish.
Fucking Woofders. Always chasing what they can't fucking handle. Behind him, the tiny broken speaker buzzes once, weakly plays yip yip, and cuts out for good, leaving only the echo of Dean's cruel laughter and Luke's final pathetic gasps.
Later on that evening, at the co-op, the fluorescent lights flicker and buzz like they're on life support. A few tired customers shuffle about, grabbing cheap wine and sad-looking ready meals. Behind the till, Harry, the village's resident mumbling idiot, fiddles with a mountain of battered membership cards, muttering like he's casting a curse. Harry is muttering to himself.
Number 47. No, 74. Bloody goblins. Need forms. Forms for the goblins.
Dean storms in like a pissed-off hurricane. He is wearing a tank top and jeans, his basket in one hand loaded with whiskey, bacon and a pack of tiger bread. He looks seconds away from murder.
All I wanted was some fucking bacon, tiger bread and whiskey. Instead, I get this fucking idiot playing with cards.
Dean waits behind a pensioner buying a multi-pack of Kit Kats. Harry's still mumbling, now mixing membership cards with a stack of receipts.
Spiders? No, numbers. No, spiders with numbers.
Dean's patience snaps.
For fuck's sake, Harry, you cunt.
He slams his basket down with a crash, storms around the counter, grabs Harry by his crusty polo shirt and punches him straight in the face. There's a wet, meaty thwack as Harry's nose explodes. Blood splatters across the counter, the cards, and a would 2 for £3 sign. Dean doesn't stop there. He grabs Harry by the throat, his fingers digging in like a vice, and slams Harry's head against the counter repeatedly. Harry's skull cracks open like a melon, brain matter and blood spilling out, creating a grotesque mess.
But please, Dean, stop. Shut up, you fucking idiot.
Lynn, who was restocking the fridge with meal deals, turns around, sees the carnage, and lets out a blood-curdling scream.
Oh my God, he's killed Harry!
Mark, the uptight manager with his sad little tie, comes charging over, dodging past a woman who drops her basket and flees. Mark begins to tut. He is away tutting, annoyed.
Brilliant. Dead on a Friday. I'll never get cover for this shift now.
Mark steps around Harry's twitching body, grimacing at the blood puddling across the freshly mopped floor. Mark moaning and tutting more.
And I just mopped this. Unbelievable.
Ignoring Dean's death glare, Mark whips out his phone and starts to dial 999.
You put that phone to your ear and I'll staple it to your bollocks, you tutting prick.
Mark just scoffs at this.
You wouldn't dare. Try me.
Mark looks at his phone again, about to dial, when Dean spots a stock cage full of bread rolls, grabs it, and with terrifying strength, folds it into a jagged metal spear. He charges at Mark, ramming the twisted pole clean through Mark's arse and out of his mouth. Mark gargles a high-pitched squeal, his eyes wide with shock and pain.
Help me, please.
Dean lifts him up, impaling him on the spear like a grotesque shish kebab. Mark's body jerks and twitches, blood pouring from his mouth and arse, before he finally drops dead, his body sliding off the spear with a wet thud.
There you go, all done.
The shop descends into chaos. Shoppers scream and bolt for the exit. Alarms start shrieking. Lynn presses herself flat against the fridge, sobbing, her eyes wide with terror and a hint of dark excitement. She's seen what Dean can do, and it's both scared and aroused her. Dean, breathing hard, looks around at the carnage. He snorts, then casually leans over the blood-slick counter, grabs a bottle of Smirnoff vodka from behind the till, rips the cap off with his teeth, and starts guzzling it like water. He drains half the bottle in one go, wiping his mouth with the back of his hand, and glares around the empty shop.
Anyone else want a piece of me? Come on.
His bloodshot eyes land on Lynn, who's frozen stiff by the meal deals. Dean then pointing the bottle at her and growls.
You're next if you're not careful, you little tease.
But please, Dean, don't hurt me.
Oh, I won't hurt you, Lynn, unless you want me to.
Lynn whispers to herself.
I should have stayed in the south of France.
Dean guzzles the last of the vodka, smirks at Lynn, and delivers a signature one-liner.
Remember, Lynn, I'm a fucking hurricane, and you're just a little tent in my path. So hold on to your knickers, sweetheart.
He tosses the empty bottle into the air, catches it, and then uses it to point at her as he backs away, blowing her a kiss before exiting with a swagger. Outside the co-op there is Dean. Wait! He was just inside the shop. Oh. This one, still dressed in a tight silver outfit and a pink feather boa, is spinning and shouting.
I love this madness, sweetie. It's so fun.
The butch Dean, dressed in tank and denim jeans, walks out of the co-op, a smug smile on his face.
Madness, chaos, and destruction. It's a blast.
Wait, there is two Deans. Meanwhile, in his flat, Dean sits at the table with a large brown envelope torn open beside him. Inside, a neat stack of crisp, fresh cash. The kind that smells like it's never been touched by human hands. Dean licks his thumb and starts counting.
1, 2, 3 grand, 4, 5. Hold on.
He pauses, squints at a few notes. They're euros. Taped to them is a small yellow sticky note in shaky handwriting.
Sorry, ran out of UK cash. Sincerely, Dr. P.
Oh, piss off, Doc P. What am I meant to do with Monopoly money? Buy a baguette and a scooter?
Still, he shrugs, shuffles the euros into the pile, and carries on counting.
5 grand, give or take a dodgy exchange rate. Not bad for sitting in a chair getting lasered in the face.
He leans back smugly, envelope on the table, cash stacked in front of him like a low-budget Bond villain. Then, bang, 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 the front door rattles like it's about to come off the hinges.
If that's another fucking canvasser with a clipboard, I swear to God, I'll shove it up their arse and tell them to vote for that.
He opens the door. Baz barrels in red-faced.
Dean, Burvey, you're on the fucking news. For what now? I only stole a burger the other night, then got a big payday. There's 2 of you. One's built like a fridge, the other looks like Elton John's fever dream. What the hell did you do? Me? I didn't do nothing. All I did was let some lab coat weirdos buzz lights round my head, paid me 5 grand just to sit in a chair. You let mad scientists shine shit in your eyes? Yeah, mate, thought it was a sleep study. They said, don't worry, we're just mapping your neural response. Whatever that means. Gave me a biscuit and everything. And now there's 2 lunatics that look just like you running round Wooten.
Knock, knock, then a loud wheel squeak.
Come in, Pinston, let's round out this intervention, shall we?
Pinston rolls in wearing aviators and a camo poncho, holding a bag of warm lager. I brought beer and emotional support. What's this about clones?
Not confirmed clones, but maybe clones or time ghosts or Dino's secret drag act.
Dean, ignoring them, grabs a sausage roll.
All I know is they strapped this whirly helmet on me, zapped a few lights, did some humming noises like they were in Star Trek, and said, that's enough, results are promising. Then I got paid.
Did they take your blood?
Yeah. Spit? Yep. Did they shove anything up your arse?
Dean pauses to think.
Well, not officially.
Baz pulls out his phone and shows Dean the video. On screen, Butch Dean charges like a bull and rams the twisted pole clean through Mark's arsehole and out of his mouth. Then Fabulous Dean is spining outside the co-op's door. Dean's mouth full of sausage roll.
Jesus Christ, they copied me twice. One for Jim Bros, one for Grinder. Why would they do that? Don't know, do I? Maybe I've got premium DNA. Maybe they're building the ultimate man and couldn't decide between bar fight and Broadway.
Pinston chugging his lager.
Or maybe they fucked up the cloning, like split your brain into 2 personalities. One got the muscles, the other got the jazz hands.
Dean nodding slowly.
Science is bollocks. What are we gonna do? We're going out, gonna find them, see what they want. Maybe figure out which one's the real me.
Isn't you the real you?
Don't know anymore, mate. Let's go find out before someone ends up in bits in the fruit aisle.
They head for the door, confused, underprepared and heavily sarcastic. Several hours earlier, a hidden underground lab beneath Wooten. Cold white lights, rows of tech buzz quietly, but tension hangs like smoke. In the center, a vat of green, bubbling ooze glowing ominously. Beside it, a cooler labeled Dean sample, warning temporal contamination. The lab is in chaos. Scientists dart around like caffeinated meerkats, red warning lights flashing like a dodgy nightclub. A monitor shows DNA helixes doing the Macarena, occasionally glitching into the shape of a middle finger. One of the scientists is gawping at the screen.
We followed the sequence exactly. Dean's DNA. But it's gone mental.
The second scientist is slapping a console in a panic.
He's been marinated in centuries of time travel bollocks. The man's genome is like a VHS tape that's been recorded over by Doctor Who, porn, and World War II newsreels.
This isn't DNA. It's a haunted mixtape of bad decisions and radiation.
Now, a third scientist is pointing at a graph now. It's shaped like a middle finger.
The helix just insulted me.
We tried to clone a man, and ended up cloning everything he's ever done while drunk and angry.
They all look at the vat, which hisses. From inside, two forms rise, steaming, grotesque at first, then reshaping rapidly like boiling wax, settling into a form. One version of Dean bursts forth first, hulking, furious, skin rippling as if holding in raw energy. His breath fogs the glass. He snarls.
Too loud, too bright, kill noise.
We shall call him Butch Dean. The second form slinks out more gracefully. This version of Dean is smooth, muscled but sleek, shimmering slightly like he's just stepped out of a gay dream and is ready to ruin lives.
Yoo-hoo, scientists. Guess who's back and beautiful?
This one will be called Fabulous Dean.
They're unstable. The time-displaced radiation fractured the personalities. It split him into primal aggression and flamboyant chaos.
Flamboyant chaos? Oh, honey, you do know how to compliment a girl.
Suddenly, Butch Dean smashes through the tank wall with a growl, grabbing a scientist and ramming his skull into a terminal. Sparks fly, blood sprays.
No more tests.
He lifts the body like a dumbbell and hurls it across the room. Bones crack on impact.
Lacking vocabulary at the moment, but ooh, I like him, so hands on.
Fabulous Dean then struts toward another scientist who's frozen with fear.
You nervous? Or let me relieve some of that tension.
He leaps into a spin and lands crotch first on the man, pinning him down like a predator with glitter and stilettos made of bone. The man's screams dissolve into gurgles as Fabulous Dean humps him to death, spine snapping under the pressure.
I call that move the bum in Nator, trademark pending.
The remaining scientists scatter. One presses a lockdown button. The doors begin to seal, but Butch Dean charges, grabs a man by the head and rips it clean off. Blood arcs across the lab wall like a mural. Too slow, too soft. As the last scientist tries to hide beneath a console, Butch drags him out by the ankle and snaps both arms off like breadsticks. The screams echo, then die. Once the lab is silent, filled with dripping blood, twitching limbs and a faint glitter haze, the two Deans stand side by side.
So, darling, what now?
Butch Dean cracking his knuckles.
Find the real one, kill him and everyone. Well, you are a jolly one, you big brute.
They saunter off together, leaving behind a scene of fabulous slaughter and muscle-bound mayhem. Back in current time. It got dark too fast. Wooten is on fire, literally. Smoke coils through the sky like God's ashtray. Streetlights flicker like dying stars. Sirens wail in the distance like they're giving up. The bystanders' windows are shattered, its pub sign hanging by one bent screw, swinging like a hanged man. Dean, Baz and Pinston crouch behind an abandoned hot dog cart that smells like piss and mustard. Dean grips a crowbar like it owes him money. Baz has a cricket bat covered in rusty nails. Pinston, vibrating with terror, holds a broken traffic cone like a medieval lance. It's still got dried vomit on it.
There they are, the clone pricks.
Across the street, Fabulous Dean struts on top of a taxi, smothered in glitter, humming Vogue and blowing kisses at a burning pensioner bus. Beside him, Butch Dean is shirtless, head-butting a lamppost repeatedly, veins bulging like hydraulic cables. So, the plan is I scream and distract them, yeah?
Mate, you're in a fucking wheelchair. The last time you distracted someone, it was a duck that thought you were a loaf of Warburtons. Focus, we strike hard, strike fast. Baz, you take the sparkly poof me. I'll fight the steroid mountain me. Pinston, try not to become soup.
They charge. Well, Dean and Baz do. Pinston's wheelchair lurches forward like a trolley with a death wish. He lifts the cone like Excalibur. Butch Dean turns, snorts, and bellows like a demon with hemorrhoids.
Squish!
He charges. Pinston jabs the cone. It bounces off Butch's chest with a sad honk. Butch grabs the wheelchair, lifts it overhead like a pizza tray, spins Pinston like a discus and launches him into a red postbox. Crack, bones snap, sparks fly. Pinston folds like flat-pack furniture.
Jesus Christ, he turned him into fucking lasagna. He's meat origami, he's human roadkill. That's Pinston-flavored jam. Ooh, hope someone brought a mop. We've got chunky puddles.
Baz screams, leaps across the street like a rabid chimp, and tackles Fabulous Dean through the shattered front window of a charity shop. This isn't a fight, it's war crime theatre. The charity shop explodes into chaos. Mannequins become missiles. A dusty CD player starts blaring Cruel Summer by Bananarama like it's possessed. Baz and Fabulous Dean are locked in a glitter-drenched death match. They crash through racks of gravy-stained aprons and postmenopausal fashion disasters. Fabulous Dean ducking behind a coat rack.
Ooh, come on then, Discount Thor. Let's tango, darling.
Baz swinging a golf club.
I'm going to turn you into confetti, you sequined poof.
Fabulous Dean pirouettes out, hurls a fluorescent crock, smack, straight to Baz's bollocks.
Oh, me testicle duets.
Fabulous Dean grabs a world's best Nan mug and smashes it on Baz's back. Ceramic shrapnel rains like weaponized dementia.
Nanny sends her love.
Baz rolls away, topples a trolley full of erotic jigsaw puzzles, and tackles Fab Dean into a shelf of lightly loved romance novels. Dust and lust fill the air.
You sparkle-titted sex shop mannequin, I'm going to snap your spine like a glow stick.
He bites Fab Dean's ear, tears out a glittery chunk, and stabs him with a sharpened knitting needle. Fab Dean grabs a mannequin leg and jousts. Baz counters with a ceramic owl. Smash!
Rude, Gerald had IBS.
They crash into a display of porcelain cats. Feathers, screams, the CD skips into hell. Fab Dean emerges with a sequined stiletto.
Say hello to my little friend.
Baz grabbing a stapler.
Say hello to stationary tosser.
They charge. Baz ducks the stiletto, knees Fab Dean in the crotch, and staples his ear to a shelf.
I was a style icon, you mongrel.
Baz strangles him with a furry dice keyring. Then, one final swing. Baz grabs a high heel, slams it into Fab Dean's neck. Blood, glitter, confetti, a party popper for Satan.
Not the Louboutins.
He slumps into a pile of feather boas and DVDs of Raiders of the Lost Arse. Baz, bleeding and dazed, wipes his face with a pink shawl.
Glitter down. Now where's the protein demon?
Dean is getting obliterated by Butch Dean in a heavyweight match so violent it makes war documentaries look like Bake Off. They crash through cars, benches, phone booths. A cat explodes out of a wheelie bin. Dean swings a crowbar. Butch catches it, headbutts him into a traffic light, then powerbombs him through a bin lorry. Dean spits blood, sandwich wrappers, and a tooth. Baz appears, face like hamburger, bat soaked in Fab Dean's innards.
Killed the gay one. Nice, let's kill this bollock with biceps.
Baz roars and leaps on Butch's back, choking him with the bat like a rabid sloth with a grudge. Dean stumbles up, cracks Butch's kneecap with a crowbar. Butch Dean drops, roars, staggers.
Baz is back, bitches.
And then, crack! Butch grabs Baz, snaps his spine over one knee like a breadstick. Baz drops, limp, eyes fluttering.
Baz! No! Baz!
He crawls to him. Baz's lips move, just blood. Then, nothing. Dean stares. No tears, just the rage of 1,000 suns. He picks up Baz's bat and his own crowbar.
Right, fucking enough of this. I'm ending you, you mutated bollock.
He charges, doesn't work. Butch Dean catches the bat, slams Dean's face into a car hood, throws him into a dumpster. The metal dents like paper. Dean groans, crawls, swings the crowbar. Miss! Butch knees him. Crack. Ribs scream. Dean vomits blood and regret. One final hammer fist to the spine. Dean crumples, broken. But he moves, slowly, pushes himself up, shaking, split lips, broken ribs, rage in his eyes, still breathing, still fucking alive. Dean is barely on his feet, bloodied, swaying, held upright by nothing but spite and bad decisions. Across from him, Butch Dean, a beast in human form, strides forward like the fucking Terminator. Shirtless, flexing, cracked knuckles dripping with Dean's blood.
You're finished, you scrawny little has-been.
Dean coughs up blood. He smirks through the crimson.
You know who you remind me of?
Butch Dean pauses, raising an eyebrow.
Fucking Conquest, from Invincible.
That hits something. Butch Dean laughs, a booming, bone-rattling cackle.
Yeah, my conquest has only just started.
He grabs Dean by the throat, lifting him like a child's toy.
Any last words before I repaint the pavement with your face?
Dean gasps.
You're still a shit version of me.
Butch Dean pulls back his fist, ready to crush Dean's skull. Woomph! Suddenly, the air ruptures with a blinding white flash. A tall figure appears at the edge of the street, silhouetted in the fire and light, long trench coat swirling, boots smouldering on impact. The figure steps forward, sleek and menacing, like death in a duster. No words, just movement. From beneath the coat, they draw a plasma weapon, a jagged, brutal thing that hums with rage. Zoom! A bolt of burning energy tears through the air. Blam! And blasts a gaping hole in Butch Dean's face. Blood and bits fly. His head snaps back and detonates like a piñata full of skull. His body collapses. Dean crashes to the ground, gasping, vision fading. The figure holsters the weapon and strides over, trenchcoat flapping. Dean squints, barely conscious, voice weak.
Knew someone in a coat had saved me, stylish bastard.
And then, blackout. Chapter 18, Reality Twists. The world is in fragments. Dean's vision wavered, his skull pounding like a war drum. His mouth was dry, metallic, blood probably. The scent of mould and rot clogged his nostrils. When he finally blinked himself into awareness, he was no longer outside the bystander pub. No neon signs, no flickering streetlights, no shattered bodies around him. Instead, he sat on a warped floor, his back against the splintered remains of what had once been a staircase. A broken-down house. Rain leaked through a hole in the ceiling, tapping against rusted tin pans on the floor. Wallpaper peeled from the walls like flaking skin. The fireplace was choked with ash and something unidentifiable. His breath caught as the memories surged in. Baz. Gone. Pinston. Gone. Fabulous Dean, silent and still in a ridiculous sequin cape. Butch Dean. Mid-charge, the sound of a plasma shot tearing the world apart. Something had saved him. He hadn't imagined that. The shot came from somewhere else. A precise kill. Butch's skull had burst like a melon, and Dean had been yanked backward into unconsciousness before he could even process it. He touched his own head. No blood, no wound. Still alive. Somehow. A creak, slow, deliberate. Dean's eyes jerked to the left. There was a figure in the hallway, a silhouette standing perfectly still, too still, framed by the outline of a door that led into deeper darkness. Rain glistened on their coat, which seemed to shimmer oddly, as if reality didn't quite sit right on them. A shifting blur obscured their face, a void where features should be.
You're awake. I see the med I fixed worked.
The voice was calm, measured, like someone reporting weather or reading a death sentence from a teleprompter. Dean struggles to stand.
Where the hell am I?
The figure stepped into the room, though their face remained veiled in shadow.
Somewhere safe for now.
Dean reached for drink, forgetting there is nothing around in this shithole. He settled for his wit.
You dragging unconscious men into abandoned houses a hobby of yours, mate? Or just a lonely creep?
I dragged you because you matter, not personally. Don't flatter yourself.
Dean narrowed his eyes.
You obliterated that tank of a beast attacking me.
It was simple child's play.
Why you saved me?
A long pause. Rain ticked louder. The silence stretched into something uncomfortable.
Because you are the key.
Dean scoffed at this.
To what?
For the end.
Well, that's vague as shit.
The figure stepped closer. Their coat rippled unnaturally, like it was stitched together from bad dreams and pub carpets.
I've seen versions of you across countless realities. One started a beer fight that turned into a 3-day riot. One broke into a museum just to nick a sandwich from the staff fridge. One mailed his own shit to the Queen every year on her birthday.
Dean blinks.
More clones?
The figure sighed, long and slow.
Not clones, you imbecile. Versions. From different realities, alternate existences. I'm from the multiverse.
Dean scratches his head.
Multiverse? Bollocks, I can barely handle one verse.
You're not special, just common across dimensions and always a walking disaster. One Dean got banned from every pub in his hometown. Another lived in a tent behind a Lidl and claimed he was king of the car park. One tried to rob a bank with a baguette.
Dean raised an eyebrow.
Did it work?
He got away with 20 quid and a few pens.
Dean grinned.
Legend.
The figure shook their head.
More like Belland. You're all chaos. Stupid, noisy, inexplicably hard to get rid of, like a cancer. And now, for reasons I still don't fully understand, you're the version that matters.
Dean leaned against a wall.
So what makes me different?
I don't know, but something does.
Dean frowns.
That wasn't comforting.
I spent cycles trying to track you down, the figure said, voice flat but edged with frustration. You're not easy to follow. Not when time displacement and multiversal drift intersect like a drunk octopus playing with a time grenade.
Dean narrowed his eyes.
What, you think that's my fault?
I was trying to intercept you in the rift. A direct snatch, but the moment I made contact, you slipped sideways. Got knocked clean out of the target stream.
Knocked where?
The figure stared at him.
World War I.
Wait, you did that? You shoved us into the goddamn trenches.
It wasn't on purpose. You were mid-jump. I hit the signal too hard. You veered off and dropped into 1915 like a sack of bricks. That wasn't supposed to happen.
Dean's jaw clenched.
Christ, we thought the device glitched.
It didn't, the figure said flatly. I caused the rupture. You and your companion were caught in the shockwave when I struck the stream. You landed there. Once I'd finally found you, I planned to wound you.
The figure continued.
Not kill. A clean shot to drop you. Disable you, make capture possible. I needed you alive.
Dean's fists slowly curled.
But Martin got in the way.
The figure gave a glare.
He threw himself in front of you at the last second, took the hit. The blast was meant to shatter your femur, rupture nerves. Enough pain to keep you down until I extracted you, but his body absorbed most of it.
You shot Martin!
I was a fraction of a second too slow. No time to reconsider. That window was already closing. I fired. At least you be there with him.
Dean stepped forward, heat rising behind his eyes.
And then what?
Yeah, I reached the trench minutes too late. You were gone. Slipped back into the rift. Vanished across overlapping threads. Bounced through the bleed. I couldn't trace you.
Dean's breath caught.
But Martin, he died for nothing.
He was still barely breathing, but alive. I dragged him out before I left, stabilized him in transit with a med-eye fix. He's been in containment ever since.
Dean was stared and stunned by the figure's words.
He's alive?
The figure gave a faint, cold smile.
Oh, very much so. Just not very, how we say, well, he wouldn't give you up, wouldn't even tell me where I was heading to. I had to dig deeper.
You tortured him.
I extracted what I could. He's tougher than he looks, I'll give him that. Screamed your name, over and over. But he never broke, until I told him what I would do, and it would matter in the end.
Dean stood frozen, mind reeling. The figure's voice dropped to a whisper.
He still believes in you, after everything, the fool.
Dean thought to himself.
That's my Martin for sure. He always had faith.
As dust hung thick in the rotten air of the old house, floorboards creaked beneath Dean's boots as the figure stepped closer, silhouetted in the flicker of an unstable breech twisting behind him.
I've waited long enough,
the figure said, his voice cold and precise.
You've slipped through cracks, timelines, realities, but now, finally, you're mine, and I can begin.
Dean backed into the crumbling plaster wall, jaw tight.
Begin what?
The end times.
The figure raised a hand, and Dean jerked into the air like a puppet, yanked by invisible strings, limbs splayed, breath choked.
You're here, and I've got everything I need.
Dean strained against the unseen force, growling.
Let me go, you freak.
The figure walked closer, and Dean finally caught a glimpse of his face. Marred, scorched, familiar. Dean froze.
Martin?
The figure looks pissed and extremely angry.
I'm more than just Martin. I'm the exemplar.
He reached out, and reality itself began to twist around the edges of the room, wallpaper tearing upward like it was being sucked into another world. Then, boom! The back wall of the house exploded in a storm of splinters and fire. Smoke swallowed the room. Dean hit the floor with a grunt as the invisible grip shattered. From the wreckage, a shape emerged, tall, broad-shouldered, limping slightly. He carried a sawed-off shotgun and wore a smirk that could cut steel.
Not today, cunt,
the man said, grabbing Dean by the arm. Dean blinked through the smoke.
Who the fuck are you?
The stranger grinned.
I am Dean Prime, baby, and your world is going to turn upside down even more. Let's go before this place collapses in on itself.
And they ran, the house groaning like it was waking up into something monstrous behind them. This concludes Part 3. Shit is about to get crazy. See you all in Part 4, Universe. Join us to continue the adventures by hitting subscribe. If you enjoyed our exploration, give us a like and share your thoughts in the comments below.